Drake or Kendrick?
Oh, I mean, Kendrick won. It's not even a question, right? Like,
he won?
Of course he won. It's not even like, of course he won.
I thought you was gonna go the other way because y'all had a little friction.
No, I'm still objective.
Right.
Like, I prefer Drake's music, of course.
Really?
So does,
Right.
So does the rest of the world.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Club Shay. I am your host, Shannon Sharp. I'm also the proprietor of Club Shay. And today, we're at Spotlight LA. Stopping by for conversation and a drink today, he's taken the comedy world by storm. He's one of the most daring and dynamic voices on the planet today. He's widely recognized for his no-hold-barred styles of stand-up, straightforward humor, and razor-sharp wit. He's praised for testing boundaries with his writing and his approach to the most divisive topics. He pushes the limits on stage, on screen, online, reshaping and redefining the landscape. He's known for his fearless crowd work, wild off-the-cuff interaction, and cutting-edge commentary. He draws some of the most diverse audience among any working comedian, globally and nationally recognized as selling out arenas, Madison Square Garden, The Forum, and the Crypt.com arena on back-to-back nights. A pioneer in direct-to-fan content distribution. He's has one of the most watched comedy specials on YouTube. He's been the most viewed comic on YouTube twice. He's also went #1 on the Billboard comedy album charts, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, and Google Play. He's renowned for being social media savvy and a marketing genius, a top-tier talent, actor, podcaster, director, producer, host, businessman, creator who isn't afraid of controversy, unfiltered, unapologetic, unabashed personality. Some call him the people's champ. He lives by the saying, everyone gonna get these jokes, Andrew Schulz.
Wow, that is, that's amazing.
That's you, bro.
I watched you do Gillies.
Yeah.
And I just seeing him get so excited with that big hat during it, and then I was imagining what I was gonna walk into, and that is pretty awesome. Thank you. I feel great.
When you hear all of that,
yeah,
what are you thinking?
I'm just embarrassed, if I'm gonna be totally honest. You know, I mean, it feels great. It feels very cool, you know, but it's, that's so cool. Yeah.
You know what?
You got me off guard here, man.
Well, you know,
I'm rarely off guard.
Really?
Yeah.
This is my personal
Cheers.
cognac.
I know.
I want to congratulate you on the Netflix that's out now.
Thank you.
Bro, you doing it.
You doing it, man.
I try.
Cheers. Ooh, that's good.
Want to take another?
Yeah, let's take another one. Oh, he wants me to talk some shit today. I'm not talking about 8 comedians. I'm not talking about 8 comedians. All comedians are great. All of them. We love all comedians. Okay? Who we talking shit about?
Whoever you like to.
Okay.
So how you feeling today?
I feel good.
You feel good?
Are you bigger now or when you played?
Now. I don't have, I played at 228. I'm around 245, 250.
250 now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I have to.
Are you on anything, peptides or anything? Like,
no.
You look magnificent.
I work out, I eat.
You better.
Watch what I eat.
Yeah, if you didn't work out, I would shoot myself right now. I mean, it's unbelievable. It is kind of crazy, right?
I've always been in shape.
Yeah.
You know, growing up how I grew up, you and I was talking off camera earlier, growing up on a farm.
I mean, your stories, it's just so unbelievable because I was telling you before, I was like, I'm researching you, like your life. At first start, obviously, I watched the beautiful speech that you gave that was for your recognition, but you made it about everybody else in your life, which I thought was a really beautiful moment.
Okay.
And usually only happens when somebody feels really full. You know, when we feel full, we can have the excess and we can give it to those people. And like making that moment about them, I thought was just incredible. That was awesome. And I got a little emotional, I'm not gonna lie. And just watching your brother exhale through his mouth. There's that moment where he just goes, It's like, I'm not about to cry in front of all these people right now.
I won't cry.
Yeah. It was beautiful. It was great, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
Check this out. I read on Instagram where you said, fans said, you're one of the last people on earth who can be canceled or never canceled. When you hear comments like that, given your approach to comedy, what do you think? What goes through your mind when you hear stuff like that?
I don't know. Like, what is being canceled anymore? What do you think?
Being canceled, well.
You almost got canceled when you were doing the porn or whatever. Remember
Ain't nobody
that?
see nothing.
I know. What really happened? Can I get like the off screen of that?
That was it.
Was it just you two on the bed just going like this and not even having sex? I need the security cam footage of you just being like, hey, pant harder. Pant harder.
You know what? I wish that had never happened, but you know. Hey.
No, you don't. That
Yes, I
shit was
do.
amazing.
No,
Was
it
it
wasn't.
embarrassing for you?
Hell yeah.
Really? Why?
I've never been on IG Live.
That was the embarrassing part?
No, I mean, think about it. The first, think about it. Your first foray into IG Live,
Yeah.
and that's what you get.
Yeah. I didn't think that would be what's.
No, I mean, look, I'm a very private person. And
Yeah.
for me to be put my family in that situation, because now I'm a type of guy, I don't like anybody to explain anything for Shannon. Because now you ask my sister, you ask my brother, you ask my kids, they have to offer an explanation for Shannon.
Got it.
Shannon's
Got
a
it.
grown man, a grandfather also, so I should be able to answer questions for myself.
I didn't know you're a granddad?
Yeah.
Oh my
about
God.
to be 2-time granddad. My son's about
Good
to have
for
a
you.
child. Why you
So it was embarrassing. It was
very embarrassing.
It was tough.
I mean, you look, first of all, I'm on the Disney. I'm with,
Yeah.
I work for the company that got the mouse with ears.
But we were rooting for you. I just No, we weren't. Everybody tuned in because we wanted to see the work. You know what I mean? We're like, I think Shannon putting in work over here, dude. Like,
I did. I acquitted the 50-year-old really quite well. Let me ask you this: why are you comfortable going after so many groups? Why do you feel like your no hold bars approach is the best way to drive headfirst into cause?
I don't go after anybody. That's the way I look at it. I mean, everybody gets these jokes.
That's how you feel.
Yeah, like I'm just curious about people, you know, and it just so I don't know if it's grown up in New York where we had all these different, you know,
Ethnicities.
people. Yeah, it's just everybody's so different. Like my friend group was completely different, and there are these little idiosyncrasies about each person that were just so funny, and I was just interested about it, and then and like learning about these different groups was just great. So I kind of learn and I dig in and I try to find something that maybe, you know, they would never expect a guy like me to know about. And what I've seen is usually when you make fun of somebody and it's not like a hacky, low-hanging fruit thing, but it's something like really specific that group is not aware that anybody else knows.
No, that's out of them.
Yeah, they appreciate it. They feel seen, you know? And that's kind of what people want. They just want like representation in a cool way, so.
Have you ever felt bad about like, damn, I probably shouldn't have said that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel more bad about like when jokes just are you know what I mean? Like it takes a lot of jokes to make a good joke.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like every time you run a route, you're not going to get a touchdown.
You're not going to win, right.
You know, but you have to run it every
Correct.
single time.
Correct.
So it's like, that's what we got to do. We got to shoot. Shoot or shoot. You shoot every single time.
Right.
And we fail. You know what I mean? Like, badly.
Have you ever
Badly.
told a joke that was bad and that you're like, well, if I tell it like this, it might get better, and you keep refining? Because Katt
Yeah, that's
says
the
like,
process. That really is the process.
okay.
Like you have a funny idea and you're like, okay, how can I make this, how can I get people to laugh at it, right? Like the idea to you is kind of funny and then the skill is, you know, sharpening that tool. Like
Right.
when I was early in comedy, like I just wasn't good at making things funny.
Right,
I
okay.
thought I was funny. You know, my friends might have been like, oh, you're funny, whatever, like that. I really wanted to try it, but
Right.
I just wasn't good enough.
Okay.
Like I remember I got punched on stage once and I was just
you
making,
got punched.
oh yeah, like I used to.
Guys ran up on you on stage?
Yeah. This is a shout out to Smokey, man. Smokey had a room at Cafe Mocha. This is like up in Harlem in New York. And he would let me go up on stage all the time. And I think it was the first time I was at Cafe Mocha when
Right.
I was just making fun of some guy in the front row, but I wasn't funny enough yet.
Right.
Like I wasn't able to do it at that point where he also found it funny.
Oh, okay.
He just thought that I was coming into his neighborhood and then I'm clowning on him. And he got up and he punched me and they grabbed him. They grabbed me. They threw him out.
Why they grab you? Hell, they punch you.
That's what I was asking. And then I remember Smokey handed me back the mic and he was like, all right, man, keep doing your thing. I was like, what do you mean? Like, isn't the show over? Like, there's got to be a lawsuit
You
here or
supposed
something.
you supposed to have stole on him. When they grab him, that's your...
Yeah. Maybe that's how I tell the story, so it looks like I didn't fight it back. I'm like, yeah, they grabbed me real quick, so I couldn't get them. That was the issue. Yeah.
Going after so many groups, the LGBTQ, Mexicans, Indians, Asians, Muslim, blind people, blacks. Bro,
Yeah.
I mean, is there anybody that haven't taken offense to something if there any group that hasn't taken offense to something you've said?
No, I think everybody can. Like, that's the thing that I think is tricky is like, I don't think comedians should be telling people what they can or can't be offended by.
Okay.
Like, you can be offended by whatever you want.
Right.
You know, like, you know, some people, like, they really care about their mom and they don't want anybody saying mom jokes.
Yes.
Some people don't give a about their mom.
Correct.
So say whatever you want. So I think it's like, comedians, it's not our position to tell people what they should be offended by.
Right.
Like, you are allowed to react however you want. You can be offended. But just don't tell me I can't tell the joke.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but I look at it like this. Everybody don't view things through the prism of you as that is funny. Some people you know what, you telling jokes, but you know, you hiding behind those jokes, but that's truly how you really feel.
Well, how I feel in what way? That's a good question.
Yeah.
But like how I feel in what way?
Some people like, oh, I was just joking. Nah, you really feel that way. You really think I'm this, or you really think I'm that, or you really think this group is like this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess it depends on the joke. You know, like sometimes there are jokes that are like, I guess, tap into truth, you know, for sure. But it would just depend on the joke, you know. But I get what you're saying. Like, they think you're using like a joke as a smokescreen.
Yes.
But I wouldn't dedicate my like entire life to comedy just to use jokes as a smokescreen to.
No, I'm not saying no. I don't think it's a situation where your entire set is based on that. But I think sometimes people try to fire off one. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna say this is a joke right here, and this kind of really do feel this way.
Yeah, if they feel that way, like if they feel that way, then maybe that's f***ed up, especially if it's offensive.
Right.
You know, I think that when you don't feel that way is when you have the liberty to say the craziest shit.
Right.
Like, I say the craziest shit to the people I love the most. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if me and you are like friends and you're not kind of roasting me or clowning me a little bit, I don't really trust you.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, what's up with this cornball who hasn't said something up to me? Like, what is he plotting? What does he want?
You got black friends like that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how you build a relationship with people.
Nah, we gonna have to give her some years. We ain't finna be judged.
Oh, I always say, like, you know, with black people, like, if a white dude isn't like a little racist around you, then you shouldn't trust him.
Yeah.
If he's not a little racist around you, you can't, because what is he thinking? He's thinking way more racist over here. They gotta be a little, like,
yeah, but you gotta keep that to yourself, Andrew.
No, you gotta let a little out. Just a little out. Just to know that you're safe.
Then I got to lay him out.
No, you don't have to fight. You don't have to fight. That would, you know, reward a stereotype.
See? Yeah.
No, you gotta be a little racist to him.
Nah.
You telling me you spent all that time in locker rooms in the NFL and you were all politically correct? That's what I was supposed to believe?
But back then.
Don't talk about Troy Polamalu. That might offend the Hawaiian people.
No, we didn't.
What'd you say about that white guy on the Broncos?
It would be.
What'd you say about Elway?
Nothing.
He's passing you all the time.
You got to realize you're dealing with hyper masculine men.
Yeah.
They will fight you on the drop of a hat.
Good.
Anything is viewed. No, you couldn't do that, Andrew. All that jokes in the locker room, and people ain't going for that.
Yeah, but that's where the skill comes in. Yeah. The funny people can do it.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing you were biting your tongue around.
No, because look, we joke about certain things. Maybe
like what?
What guys wore. We joke
on your outfit.
That's what we're talking about. We joke on your outfit.
Yeah, you make fun of someone.
But you're not finna just get up here and make no.
What happened? You break?
No, you don't.
You gotta get the real Tiffany's, bro. You can't get that.
Oh, you know what it is, though, huh?
Come on, I got a wife. You don't think I know about the Tiffany?
You don't buy no Tiffany for you?
She's trying to spend all this money. I gotta start selling cognac.
Let me go get me a little.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is, like, you've made fun of your friends, right?
For sure.
For dressing a certain way.
Yes.
And what was that joke about? Like, what was it targeted towards? Any specific community, perhaps, or no?
Well, I think
probably not.
No. I was making a joke about what he was wearing, not that his ethnicity, because I didn't care what he had on it.
But what did you think? What was he wearing? Did it look like not very masculine?
He looked like a 70s drug dealer. He had a gold chain on with a polyester shirt, and it was bust open.
Ooh, that's fire.
Yeah, I had to know.
This is good.
It should have been set fire, but it wasn't.
So it is fun to make fun of each other, and like when you grew up in a kind of way that I grew up. Again, I don't know how you grew up. Like how we in the country. So I don't know if it was just
we made fun of people. No. It was. I mean, look, but we stayed with it was in the late '60s and the '70s. Blacks were here. White was over here.
It was quite segregated. Yeah. So I went to public school in New York.
Yeah.
So you don't get to be segregated. You know what I mean? Like, we're all in this together. And the Chinese dudes are snapping on the Puerto Rican dudes, and the Puerto Rican dudes are snapping on the white dudes snapping on the black dudes. It wasn't really, there wasn't really any sort of like discomfort, but that's all we knew. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's kind of how we built our relationships. So to me, it's like the most normal thing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I remember even when I would tell stories of like, going up to do like the quote unquote black rooms. There's like a chitlin circuit in like comedy, and they're like, you know, some people who weren't really from New York were like, you do the black rooms, and I was like, yeah. And to me, I didn't realize that it was like an odd thing.
Right.
I was like, it's just in New York. Like it didn't seem like a weird. It's not like this like crazy idea. I'm not like walking across like this specific street and everything changes.
Right.
But I guess to other people that don't grow up like that, it might be a little weird. They're a little like shocked.
What do you say to people that said, "Look, bro, you just dealing in stereotypes"? I mean, you take a group.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they're right. It depends what the stereotype is. I try to get really nuanced with it, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, stereotypes are funny.
For who are you?
Also, like, you should be able to tell someone, get off your lawn. It's your lawn.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's just a figure of speech.
The other ones I think are annoying, but like if someone's on your lawn, like if I was just showing up on your lawn and I'm like walking around on it, just yelling stereotypes.
No. I think the thing is that how they be trying to police the community.
Yeah.
How they're like, I've never seen you here before. Where do you live at?
Yeah.
What's your apartment number?
Yeah.
I mean, what's your house? Who are you?
Annoying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, super annoying. Yeah, I don't love the Karens until you live in like an apartment building. See, you're a really rich guy. You don't live in an apartment building.
I did.
You did at one point.
Yeah.
When you were normal like us, you lived in an apartment. Now
No, I was out here. I was in Cali. I was living in Cali, and I lived in a high rise.
Now,
but it's just hard, man. I mean, to have to wait for the elevator.
I know,
and
it's
know
brutal.
And one of them get broken, and then there's only one operational elevator.
How you gonna have all the girls coming up and down? You know what I mean? They gotta take the stairs. Now they're sweaty. Now they're out of breath.
And then I gotta, I don't ride the elevator with single women.
Yes,
so
you cannot do
if
that.
If a single woman is on the elevator, I gotta wait.
Wait, why don't you? Why? Because they just get too horny.
No, I don't.
Why do they get
run the risk? Sometimes
run the risk of what?
Sometimes the mention of impropriety is enough to sway people's opinion of somebody.
Really?
So I don't do that.
So if a single woman's going to go into an elevator,
I'm not getting on it.
And what do they think?
I don't let women servers come into my room to bring food.
Really?
If they come to clean the room, I leave the room. I sit in the hallway till they're done. Then I go back into the room.
Now, have you ever like blown someone's mind with that? Like, has a girl ever been?
No,
like,
I mean, a lot of times when people see me, it's like, okay, you can get on. I was like, no, I'll wait till the other. They said, no, it's fine. And I just keep it moving like that.
And do you think that they're thinking there's like some reverse racism thing there?
No, I don't know what they're thinking.
Do you clutch your purse when white women walk around?
My crossbody? Nah. Because if I'm on the elevator by myself and a woman steps on, I'll get off.
White women only or black women?
It doesn't matter.
So you won't enter an elevator with a black woman?
I don't get on.
Clip it. No.
Single. A single.
I refuse to ride in an elevator with a black woman.
It don't matter what color.
I just want to let you know, black women, I will ride in the elevator with you.
There you go, Gary.
Unlike Unc, I will ride in the elevator with you. Okay.
But you do realize, sometimes that in history, stereotypes have impacted people, a certain group of people, in a negative way.
Yeah. If it's a negative stereotype, yeah.
Yeah. But you go into that sometimes. You don't like, you know what,
Yeah, I mean, I think intention is everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think my intention is to like bring joy and make people laugh. So that's what I do.
But you do realize that intent only matters to you. The group that you're talking about is still equally as offended.
If they're offended.
Right.
I think a lot of times we assume that people don't like humor. Okay. But I think for the most part, Americans like to laugh. Oh. And we like to laugh at each other.
Okay.
So I bank on Americans having a sense of humor.
Okay.
Over them not having a sense of humor 100% of the time. Because we're not a humorless culture. There are cultures that are humorless and they don't get shit. But part of America, like, we love laughing at shit. Like, it don't matter who it is. They could be the most radioactive person in the world. It could be Donald Trump. There was this Indian guy trying to ask Donald Trump a question. Did you see that? It was in like a press conference. And this Indian guy had the thickest Indian accent ever. He's speaking English though. But it's just,
it's hard. It's broken.
And he's like, Mr. Trump, whatever. He's doing the whole thing. And Trump just cuts him off and goes, I don't know what the hell this guy said. Now, when he says that, Americans, we die laughing at it. Because it's just this insane moment that happens, right? The poor guy's just trying to ask a question. He got a thick fucking accent.
Right.
It is what it is. But I think Americans have a sense of humor about shit.
Let me ask you this.
What do you think? Do you think we have a sense of humor? Do you think comedy should be policed?
No, but look, the way I am, if somebody tells me something is offensive to them, I'm good. I don't need to go back in there. I don't say, well, this is my right to say whatever I want to say. I don't look at it like that.
So if one person told you, I'm offended that you sell alcohol and drink alcohol on your show, you would
No,
stop?
no, hell no. Because this isn't about them. This is about me. But if I said something,
That's what I'm talking about.
If I said something about a group,
now you're getting it.
No, but if I say something about a group,
Yeah.
if let's just say an Indian or Asian American says, that, I'm good. I don't need the whole company. I don't need the whole 15 million people to say something.
Okay, ready? I don't like your takes on football.
Okay.
And what if a football player said, no, I don't dislike your takes, but what if a football player said, one football player, not the whole group, one football player said, I don't like your takes. Would you stop playing football? Would you stop talking about football?
No.
Why not?
No, because I'm not talking stereotypically. I'm not trying to demean him. I'm critiquing his play. That's what I'm doing. I'm talking about based on my knowledge of the game, having played the game, having studied the game, having covered the game. I'm basing my opinion solely on my intimate knowledge of the game. It's not about you. I'm not talking about what you might have done on off the field. I'm not talking about anything other than that.
What about basketball?
Yes. Yeah,
but you never played basketball.
I never played basketball.
But you still have an opinion on it.
I still have an opinion.
And that opinion sometimes rubs people the wrong way. It does. And you keep talking about it.
But again, I'm talking about their play, not their ethnicity, not something that they have maybe have done that people have talked about for 100, 200 years. There's a difference, I believe. Stereotype is, I'm not stereotyping that player. I'm not saying, well, because Luka's white, he can't jump.
You're saying specifically stereotypes.
Yes.
But what if, like, it's a cultural analysis?
I think it all depends. I mean, if it's a situation where...
Like, is there a specific thing that you're referencing from me? Because maybe I can speak to it. Seems like you're hung up on this.
No, I'm not hung up because I look at guys that do the edgy comedy.
Yes,
and I do believe that's kind of where you go. You like to live on the edges. You like, damn, this middle it's too safe in here. Yeah, I need to be right up to the edge. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Let me look over there. You know what? As a matter of fact, let me put my foot over the edge. That's how you look at it.
That's the fun. Well, it depends. Like, not to like plug my special, but my current special is just like me not being able to get my wife pregnant because my sperm sucks. So it's like I could also go to Abu Dhabi and make fun of them about the interesting cultural observations I've made. And then I could talk about the things that are difficult and vulnerable in my life. So it depends. And there's some people that might be offended, but there's also like multiple arenas of people who are specifically coming out to see me make fun of them.
Well, you had sold out back at the Forum and the Crib. You sold out Madison Square Garden, so.
And like when you look at the audiences at my shows, I would be like concerned if I was in your situation if it was just like all white people and we're just laughing at minorities.
Right.
That'd be weird.
Right.
But when you look at it and it looks like the UN, to me it's like
smorgasbord.
It's the proof in the pudding.
Right.
It's like, oh wow, these people actually enjoy seeing this, and they don't like Karens telling them what they should or shouldn't laugh at. Most people that I see policing jokes are like some white guy on NPR from Maine who's never had a minority friend who's like, white people should not be doing this. And then minorities are too sensitive. We cannot make a joke about them at all. Their feelings get hurt. They're so weak. And it's like, to me, that's racist. It's racist that you assume that they can't take jokes.
Right.
Like all the minorities I grew up with, we were, giving each other dozens nonstop. It was just a normal thing for us to do. So that's my experience.
Let me ask you this. Have you told a joke on stage and you look around and you see people that look like you were waiting around to see who else laughed before they laugh?
Bro, you know what? White people do that if you tell a black joke and there's a black person there. They'll go like this, or like, they'll be like, is the black guy laughing? They're like, that shit is funny, isn't it funny? Like, so white people will do that. They're more polite, but non-white people, like minorities, they laugh at everybody. They usually don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, they're not concerned. They're laughing. White people are a little bit more concerned. They want to make sure. They want to be like, okay.
Yeah, we laughing.
You're laughing. That's what now we're on the same page. Before you acted like you're not laughing.
No. I'm gonna laugh, but my thing, I was saying that if somebody told me, I give you a prime example. There was a guy, his name was Fred Shimizu. He worked on Camera 3 when I was at CBS. And I used to call him Ichiro, which means firstborn in Japanese.
Was he Japanese?
He was.
Did you know that for a fact or you were guessing?
I would know that for a fact.
Okay.
So
if you want to guess, just go Chinese. There's way more.
No. He was Japanese. And one day, his sister passed, but his sister was the firstborn. So he comes to me. Yeah. He said, Shannon, he said, I know you've been calling me Ichiro for like the past 6 or 7 years. He said, but my sister passed and she was the firstborn. I would really appreciate it if you called me by my name. Boom. I didn't say, man, I've been calling you Ichiro for 6, 7 years. Bro, get over it.
Yeah.
Fred, no problem.
Yeah. His name was Fred?
His name was Fred. Freddie Shimizu. Freddie, shout out, bro.
Yo, but shout out you, Fred.
No, but I'm saying that's how I operate, Andrew. That's how I operate. Yeah. I didn't go back and say, bro, I've been calling you this.
So but yeah, you're not a professional comedian.
No.
You're a broadcaster that you don't need to talk to the camera 3 guy and insult his heritage.
I could.
And dishonor his family.
I could be.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that's the right thing to do.
I'm going to start telling jokes to get back Deion Cole. I'm going to get back Deion Cole.
Why? What did Deion do?
Nah, he got me at the NAACP Image Award. He said something slick.
What'd he say?
He's talking about my clothes be tight.
You do like to show off.
I mean,
you like to flirt.
What?
Nah, you flirting, bro. That's some, yeah, you could wear baggier.
Why? Don't you believe in conspicuous consumption? If you have it, flaunt it?
I don't know what you just said. I went to public school, bro. I listen, you should have CTE. I don't know how the you even pronounce all those words. What the did he say? Conspicuous
consumption.
Consumption.
If you have
it, flaunt it.
Yes.
So you are trying to show off.
No.
You just said you're trying to show off, Shannon.
I'm saying,
I feel gaslit.
No, what I'm doing is that I work out.
Okay.
And I mean, how big? What you want me to get? Triple X?
So now you're showing off. Let's say a dude comes up to you and he's like, yo, I like what you're showing off. Now I know that you're about that showing off shit, and he's like, I like it.
No.
Whoa, what do you mean no?
What you mean I'm showing off? I ain't showing off. I got on clothes. I can see if I came up here and did the interview with nothing on.
Hold on. You just said you're about the conspicuous, whatever that is.
Conspicuous consumption.
That sounds like a Harry Potter story.
No, I'm saying if you have it, flaunt it.
Yeah, so you're saying you got it flaunted. And a guy is over here like, yo, he's flaunting. I'm trying to catch some of that flaunt. He comes up to you.
I don't get down like that.
No. I know you don't. We saw the video. We saw the video.
But that's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh, you say, yo, I don't get down like that. Right. Stiff arm.
Yeah,
stiff
that's
arm.
it.
He's stiff too.
Hey, we done.
Yeah.
We done. That's done. That's it. But I don't give off that vibe. Now, people on the internet can say what they want to, but I have never.
You don't give off that vibe. You don't give off that vibe.
I've never been in a situation where somebody has approached me from the same sex. It's like.
But that's the thing that's weird. It's like, you don't got to give off the vibe. Like, no girl gives off a vibe for us to think they're hot. They're just hot.
No. In today's time, Schulz, you can't just, hey, you look nice. That dress look nice on you. I ain't complimenting nobody.
I got a wife. I can't do that.
No, I'm just saying, period.
Yeah.
If it's not my sister, my daughters, or mine, you ain't getting no compliments.
No compliments at all.
Hell no.
What if they have
I don't care if they dress like Kanye's wife. You get nothing from me.
Oh no, I'll compliment. I think we could objectively say she has huge tits.
Nah, because you say something to somebody, now you make them feel uncomfortable.
She made me feel uncomfortable, yeah. If I saw her in person, I would feel very uncomfortable because it'd be impossible not to look at what she's got. I mean, she's, objectively speaking, we're just talking about biology.
Right.
She's stacked to the gills.
I take your word for it, man.
You've never seen it?
I don't.
You getting in that elevator?
No.
You getting in that elevator? You hitting every floor? He just
hell no. I don't pay no attention.
What is your love life like right now? You have a girlfriend? What's the whole thing?
I'm okay. I'm doing.
No, I know you're okay. Yeah. I know you're good. But like, do you date? Like, how does somebody get into Shannon's world?
I'm private, man. I keep that stuff hush hush.
Really?
Because if you date publicly, you got to break up publicly.
Oh, and the breakup publicly is brutal, huh?
And then, you change insults on Twitter or IG and you post everything. You end up on the gossip columns. I ain't trying to do that.
And then they could talk about you.
Who's scoring big in the NBA this season? You are, with all the new ways to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. From the Monster Slams to dishing the rock to cleaning the glass, get behind your favorite player and prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of the NBA player props. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like picking how many points your favorite player will have. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, make your pick. First time, here's something special for you. New DraftKings customers, bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Take it to the rack with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Shannon. That's code Shannon for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. So let me ask you this.
Yes.
Did you play sports as a kid? Because it seems like you like sports. You know a lot about sports.
I hooped, and then I boxed.
You what?
I hooped. I played basketball.
Hula hoop?
Yeah, hula hooped.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
In New York City,
Yeah.
you were a hooper.
Yeah, I was nice. I'm dunking on you. But you don't think that because I'm white, but I'm dunking on you in the game. Actually, you're big and you're probably like quick. It's probably tough to get by you, but yeah. I used to be nice at basketball. And then boxing I did in college a bit, and then my nose is too big for that shit. Like even in the headgear it would get hit.
Yeah.
Like your headgear should protect your nose, but my nose would be popping right out the headgear. I'd just be getting smacked in the head. But I had one smoker.
Did you want to play sports? So when you were growing up,
I wanted to hoop. I wanted to play ball. Like naturally as a kid, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be a professional basketball player. And then like, I played in high school, and then I got like some like D3 interests, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go to some liberal arts college to like play on the team there. Like I don't give a about that. So I went out to UC Santa Barbara, and then I just went out to school there, and I didn't play on the team or anything like that. But I played with guys who like. I saw the levels, put it that way. Like
yes.
I saw, like I would play this guy in the summer, and he was a guy who played like D2, like school in Long Island. It was in Long Island or like Philadelphia. But and then he went and played in Europe, and he was just nice. Like there's just, as you know, you're a professional athlete. There's levels to this. And I saw my level, and I could have worked harder. Don't get me wrong. I could have worked harder. I could have done other things for my game. But my game was built around, I know this is going to sound maybe hilarious because of your stereotypes of me, but it was built around athleticism and length. See, look at that. Do you see this racist stereotype that you have? This is disgusting. We shouldn't allow this. I'm telling you right now that is hurting me, so please never do that again.
So you
Please never, I've told you that hurt my feelings, so please never talk about white people again.
I didn't say that. I didn't say anything. I just shook my head.
Please never shake your head like that again. This is what it sounds like when people try to censor jokes. Like, please never talk about it again.
Right.
My feelings
But you were
hurt.
athletic.
I'm cooking you no problem. I know it sounds crazy.
It does.
But I would. Back in the day, I would. It's not, because here's the thing. It's like I invented a move called the hezzy. I don't know if you're familiar with it. And basically what happens is I have a left to right cross, and then I have a left hezzy.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's nothing you can do about it. You got to ask Jay Williams. You know Jay Williams?
Yeah.
Number 2 draft pick, right? Maybe the best college point guard ever, some people say. Cooked his ass on video.
Okay. I was just wondering about that. Yeah.
I mean, you're familiar with this, right?
I'm familiar with Jay Williams. I'm familiar with you probably.
I love Jay, but I told him, you don't want the smoke. I'm going to hit you with the hezzy. I'm going to cross that ass over, and I'm going to hit a teardrop in your face, and then I did it, and then I won.
What were your parents like?
My parents owned a dance studio. They would teach dance lessons. Yeah.
You didn't want to go into the family business?
No, I know some dancing. I know a little bit of dancing, but they didn't really pressure me like that.
Really?
Yeah. My dad before that was a journalist, so he would like...
You have siblings?
Yeah, I have a little brother.
That's it?
Yeah, just a little brother. And then my mom was a ballroom dancer, and she was a 3-time U.S. ballroom dance champion. She's originally from Scotland. She moved here when she was like 20. Yeah.
So what type of big brother were you? Were you protected?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Is that why you learned how to box?
No, I think I learned how to box because I like talking.
And so you need to be able to. Well, you didn't talk. When that man jumped on stage and punched you, you ain't do nothing.
Well, I didn't learn how to box yet.
Oh.
I just learned how to talk. And I realized, you know,
you got it backwards.
Both.
You got it backwards.
Exactly.
Box first, then talk ish later.
What is that shit they say about America? It's like America, what is it? The First Amendment is freedom of speech. Not amendment, but the first, whatever it is. Oh my God, I should know about this. I feel like. What is it?
Freedom of speech.
It's freedom of speech. And then number 2 is you could carry a gun.
Right to bear arms.
And there's a reason why. Right? I think it was Michael Che that had a joke about this. I'm not exactly sure, but it was like, if you're going to let people say whatever the they want, they got to carry something to make sure. And on some level, I did probably feel that way. I was like, I got to be able to protect myself if I like talking.
But I will give you credit. You talk about everybody.
Everybody gets these jokes. I think the second you stop doing it about one group, then it becomes hateful.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Because if I'm equally making fun of everybody, it's love. I genuinely want everybody to laugh when I say the jokes.
Okay.
Genuinely, that's the goal. Like, I'm out here hoping that you come to a show or you watch online and you smile and you laugh and you have a little joy in your day. That makes me feel good.
How much ticket?
How much does it cost for tickets to a show?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Depends where you sit. You know, depends what part of the venue you're in.
Okay, up close.
I don't know. How much are tickets, Dove? I have to ask the Jew.
It can be up to 200, 250.
I'm gonna watch it online.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Yeah. You can afford it. Stop it.
I'm watching it
You
online.
got different colored diamonds on your fake Rolex.
I'm gonna watch it online.
Yeah, come on. What is it? Did you put these on?
No, that's the cotton candy.
Oh my God, that's like way more fancy than I even know about with watches. You're rich, dude. No, you got money.
No,
you dress like a Pilates instructor.
Yeah,
but you got money. That's the thing that throws me off.
That Lulu?
You look good in the Lulu. How do you not have a deal with Lulu yet?
I'm trying to get one.
You need it. Hey, who's your guy?
Rhea.
Are you part Jewish? Dove, can you help and bestow some wisdom? There would have already been a deal.
Okay, we're gonna get this deal.
Yes. Shout out Ghana, bro. Have you been to Ghana before?
I have not.
No?
No.
Oh, dude. That's the vibes now.
That's it. I want to go on a safari.
Well, that's not Ghana at all.
But I want.
You're just saying that because you think Africa is all safari.
No. I did my ancestry. I'm 90% Nigerian.
Yes. Do you know what type of Nigerian?
No, they're different types.
Igbo, Yoruba.
No, I don't know all that.
No?
They didn't give me all that.
Oh, you got to look in. There's some beautiful stereotypes, as you would say, about the Nigerian people. But the Nigerian people are fascinating, man.
Well, maybe you can help me out. You're not Jewish, but I'm going to ask you this question.
Yes. You were about to ask me a question about, like, why is it when
they get offended
Jews stick together?
Because LeBron said,
I'll speak on behalf of all Jews for you.
No.
Now.
But I'm just saying, maybe you can help me, maybe because you have a better understanding than I do.
Yeah.
Is that LeBron said, like, I'm trying to get money like Jewish people, and they they lost it.
He said that?
It was a song. It's a song. And
he wrote a rap song?
No, he didn't write a rap song. He was regurgitating the line in the rap song.
So you're saying if I just say a rap lyric, I could get in trouble for it potentially?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they look at it like somebody from the opposite race saying the N-word. But I'm saying getting money, how Jewish communities stick together.
Yeah.
They pull together, they root for one another, blah, blah, blah.
Do they?
Yeah.
You think they do?
I think they do.
Where are all the Jewish rappers? They seem to be...
I don't know. I only know the Jewish rappers.
I know, there's like none. Jack Harlow, he looks kind of Jewish, right? He got the curls.
Are you sure?
I think Jack's secretly Jewish, dude. Don't you think? He's an industry plant.
Lord,
they call that an industry menorah. No, why? I think that, I mean, I don't know. It depends what it is. I think it's hard to like, I think you should look out for people that you care about. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I imagine you do that with your friends. I've tried to build business with my friends. My friends just don't happen to all be like in the same community. Right. But if you grow up in a community, it's not weird. Right. So like, when I see black people looking out for black people or Jews looking out for Jews, like,
we need
I'm not like,
we need to do that more though.
But don't you think that that's happening? Don't you think there's an effort?
Not enough.
No?
Not enough.
Well, then how can you start? What can you do?
I'm doing my part. See, for me, Schulz, I don't like to tell people what I'm doing because I do it not for praise. Because the way I look at something, even if I do something special, and nobody tells me that it's special, I still believe that it's special. So I don't do it for the cameras. I don't do it to see my name in print. So if I give or I donate something, if you mention my name, I won't give it to you again.
Now, I know you won't say this, but I just want to say that, the people behind the scenes working on this are all black.
Now, my makeup, where Brett?
Hey, everybody,
go?
Listen, hey, listen, I'm just saying, you are providing black jobs and you're looking at the black community. Nobody behind the camera here is not black. I just want to point that out.
No, we got one. We don't
have to count them. Those days are done. We're not doing that anymore. Okay, what the hell's going on over here?
They did away with affirmative action, so I'm good.
DEI is over.
Yeah, we
No, I honestly, I don't know. What's your thought on that? Like, Do you think, I guess people, when they hear that like a group is looking out for one another, maybe they feel alienated by it?
Right.
Is that I guess?
That might be. I mean, for me,
yeah.
I mean, I love the fact that they root for one another, they work with one another.
Yeah.
And for me, and I'm from the outside looking in.
Do you want to like recreate that?
I want our community. I want our community to be that.
Now, I think there is a distinct difference though with like the Black American community and the Jewish community. And I'm not talking about just jumping ability. I think that like the Jewish community is bound,
right,
I would imagine, by this book that was written like 3,000 years ago, right? A religion, these customs, etc.
Right.
And unfortunately, because of horrible circumstances that my family had nothing to do with, just like, man, look, Black Americans are bound. Now, of course, in modern times, there's like amazing culture.
Yeah.
Like you guys dominate American culture. But historically speaking, by the oppression, right? That's what unifies the Black experience, unfortunately. Now, much different.
Right.
Art, music, food, like all these other things, yes. But initially speaking, you don't have 3,000 years of, hey, this is our culture.
Right.
Whereas the Jamaican community in America does, right? Like the African community in America does. Like the Somali community can tap into 3,000 years of culture.
Right.
So it's easy for them to look out for one another, take care of one another. And I wonder if the Somali community in America operates similarly to the Jewish community in America, or the Russian community in America, or the Italian community in America. And I wonder if it's like a more difficult task for Black Americans in general, because you're not a monolith that has like one book that's driving your culture.
Correct.
You've had completely different experiences, and unfortunately, because of history, have been torn from your like ethnic and country identity.
Right.
So you don't know what tribe you're from in Nigeria.
Correct.
And if you did, maybe that would inform so many things about you. Like I don't know what tribe I'm from really in Scotland. I mean, I know I'm part of like the Cameron clan. That's what it was.
Okay.
But like, it maybe be really cool if I knew more about that.
Right.
And then maybe it would help like congeal the community. So I think it is a cool thing to look towards and do, but you also got to give yourselves a little bit of slack. You're building a new identity.
Right.
And you're comparing yourself to groups that have existed for thousands of years. You're supposed to, in 400 years, become the same as Italian people.
But we got to start somewhere, though, Ed.
No. It's great. But also, like, take a moment and be like, holy look what we're doing. And like, what? This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's just like a moment to pat yourself on the back because you're comparing yourselves to thousands of years of history.
Okay.
That's my take. Maybe I'm off, but that's my take.
What's your thoughts on Kanye? He got the shirts out, Andrew. Come on, bro. Why is he doing this?
Well,
he doesn't have to.
I think his knee-jerk energy is just how can I antagonize? My guess is if you told Kanye, if you said to Kanye, if you were like, you won't love Jews, he'd be like, I won't what? If you're like, I bet you won't love Jews. Matter of fact, I'm telling you right now, you're not allowed to love Jews. The next day he'd have a shirt, I love Jews. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think like
he loves going against the grain.
I think he likes, this is my assumption. I don't know the guy at all, but my assumption is he doesn't like being told what to do at all. And anytime he feels like a cultural impulse telling him, like it happened with the MAGA hat, right?
Right, yes.
He's like, I'm gonna let you know, you're not gonna tell me what I can or can't do. And I assume that's what drives him.
Okay.
And so the second you tell him he's being racist, he's like, all right, well, I'm doubling down on that.
Right.
You know? His wife is really talented, though. She's in a new movie. Did you see the new movie?
I did not.
It's called The Elevator, starring Shannon Sharp.
Man, I wasn't thinking it was a real movie, man. You got jokes. But okay.
Yeah.
You had a couple of comedians. I get they're not comedians.
These are good questions, man.
Yeah,
I don't want to sound surprised. Like obviously you're phenomenal.
Yeah,
at this.
we do.
But like it's
CJ, my producer, we do a great.
CJ, great job too. You guys do a really good job of building this.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I mean, it sounds silly to say because you guys are so successful, but I do think it's important to give people compliments on their
Thank
work.
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You caught a lot of criticism.
Yes. Well,
the,
I said yes, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Because you already know. Yeah, I got criticized for that.
It's always. Once you get over 4 million followers on Instagram, it's like your clout.
You broke the internet when you had James. I think you say Fuad.
Oh, the and gigs guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And about the black girl effect.
Yeah.
So tell me how did that conversation come about?
Yeah.
And then tell me what you were thinking when you said what you said.
So what was the black girlfriend effect is essentially like when a white guy dates a black girl, he starts to glow up. He like starts to like look better.
Right.
And he gets like a beard and a shape up, and he's just like fine. And I've heard of the black girlfriend effect, obviously. So what was he saying it, referencing it? It was like Travis Kelce or something like that.
Yeah, I think because he was saying they glow up, they start to look different, they get beards and things like that. And I think you said but they go bald because
that's what I was like. So for me, I'm like, this is a comedy podcast. I'm like making a joke. First of all, I hate explaining jokes. I can't believe I'm even doing this. It's like so stupid. But so I'm like, what is the opposite take?
Right.
A lot of times in comedy, the opposite take is the funny thing.
Look at the other side.
So you go the other side and you try to defend the indefensible or whatever it is. This is what I've done my entire career. So the opposite take is, no, actually the reason why they're shaping up their hair because they're going bald, because they're stressed out, they're going to beards, so there's more padding in case they get slapped.
Right.
It's just the opposite take of the black girlfriend effect being, you look so much better.
Right.
It's really not that sophisticated. But they went on another podcast and said they didn't think that girls in Atlanta were pretty. So black women in Atlanta were very offended by these two English dudes, black dudes, that were basically calling girls in Atlanta ugly. This is like the hub of black culture in America. And you're just gonna call the black women ugly. So they were ripping them, and then they started ripping them for laughing at my joke. So it wasn't really about what I said. It was, look how corny these guys are, and they are corny. Look how corny these guys are. Here's another example of their corniness. Right? And then Ryan Clark took a break from posting pictures of his outfits on Instagram to do a whole soliloquy.
Man, why you on RC, man?
Bro.
Did you have a conversation?
I love his Instagram. The outfit posts are amazing.
Right.
Like the group chat is always full of the outfit. Like we can't wait for the new Ryan Clark outfit drop. The second the new outfit where he's walking the streets and the smoke is in the background and like an inspirational quote, you know what I mean? That's like, ugh.
You need to have a conversation. Ryan's a good dude, man.
No, I know. Everybody tells me he's a good dude, but he did that and he like, it just felt like it was all clout and he tried to make it this big thing. And he's like, by the end of it, he's like, he's one of these guys that like wants to say the N-word but doesn't. And I was like, what the is going on? Like, what are we even talking about?
Right.
The story is about those guys who insulted the black women.
Right.
And laughing at that joke. And then he kind of reframed it and then made it about me.
But then they go on and says, well, I probably should have kicked the cameras over and punched him in his face because
I should have done a lot of shit. Everybody should have done a lot of shit.
But that was the opportunity. I mean, I didn't say he had to do all that, but he could have said, bro, I don't think that's funny.
But he thought it was funny.
Exactly. Until he got got blowback for it.
And then he thought it was going to affect the bottom line. And then, then you just do whatever. But that's the problem, is a lot of people aren't willing to take the criticism.
Right.
Like it or not, I don't sway from criticism.
Right.
I don't say you can't criticize me.
Right.
But I'm not bending like they're going to bend. Like, then you're just a plastic bag in the wind.
Right.
Then whatever the people say becomes your identity, and then people can't trust you. In my opinion, like, I think deep down people do respect when you have your own constitution, your own rules.
Right.
I say I make fun of everybody.
Right.
And I'm always going to do that. Doesn't matter what the group is, I'm going to do it. And then I'll get backlash, and you can have that backlash, but it's not going to change me from being me. And eventually people start to learn. Maybe that was the first time they saw me, and they're like, that was up. Why did he say that? And eventually I think that they start to go, oh, that's just what he does. He's actually cool with everybody about it, and it's not a personal thing. He doesn't really hate anybody. He actually loves everybody, and that's just the way that he shows it. He shows it through jokes and humor and these observations.
Why do you get into it with everybody online?
I don't ever get in with
You
people
got into
online.
it with Cubes, Ice Cube Jr.?
Oh, that was just fun. Sometimes it's shooting fish in a barrel. Yeah, Ice Cube. What do I call him? Ice Cream. He's big. I think Cream. I like him though.
Right.
But he was just being foolish. Like he was trying to have a moment. Everybody was trying to have a moment. Like there was just this big. Anytime I see people trying to have a moment,
Right.
It's like, okay, well, if you want to have a moment, then I'll also maybe have a moment. Like exactly. Like if you put something out there and you're trying to, pile on me.
So you be reading your comments, huh?
Oh, of course. Everybody reads their comments.
I used to respond to.
I don't respond though to the comments. Unless
You
it's
did.
Well, if you're big enough, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't respond to everybody.
Right, correct. Yeah.
You know, but like there's certain people where, yeah, you should. Like I've never said anything about Ryan.
No.
And I actually, this is the thing that's annoying about Ryan is like, I actually think that he's good. I think he's like good at what he does. But I just thought that was like really corny.
Right.
And it felt like it was just, I'm going to sandbag this dude for clout. Here's an opportunity for me to look virtuous. And I'm going to not even reach out to him. You can reach out to me. You've asked me to be on your show. Y'all have asked me to come on the show. Right. So you have the ability to ask me the context of things.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. It's like,
so you came on Club Shay Shay first, huh?
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Come on, no competition here, bro. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, man.
I appreciate his outfits more. You know what I mean? We can't.
You know, I'm comfortable.
That one's more baggy than usual. I feel like you on the Ozempic, bro. I feel like from the start of this interview you lost weight. The bracelet's falling off. Something's happening. Yo.
Ozempic.
Yeah. What's up with Ozempic, man?
Let me ask you this. So you say you like to give the counter. So what's the white girl effect? White girls that date black men, what's the effect?
White girls that date black guys. Like what happens to the black guys?
Yeah.
Oh man, they don't got to dress as cool. You know what I mean? They could. I don't know what else. I don't know. White girls that date black guys. What happens to the black guy?
Because the black girl effect. The guys were saying they glow up, they look different, they move different, they vibe different, they got the swag now. You said okay, yeah, but you know they started. They go bald because they're stressed.
So when white girls date black guys, like what happens with the black dude?
Yeah.
God, I don't know. We got to ask him. I mean, obviously you've heard the stereotype.
You ain't got no black guy friends that date white women?
Is that shocking to you that my black friends are real? You know what I mean? Is that shocking that my black friends keep it true?
I mean, you keep saying you got black friends, but I ain't heard no name yet.
I mean, first of all, Dr. Umar Johnson was my best man.
Oh, man, there you go.
Dr. Umar was the best man at my wedding, okay? And the
Dr.
only
Umar
reason
came for you.
Listen, never. That's my boy. I love Dr. Umar.
Whatever.
No, I'm telling you, Dr. Umar is the GOAT. I'm telling you, he is the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But no, Charlamagne keeps it true.
Charlamagne. Y'all got a pod together.
That's what I'm saying. You know, and you know, so it's what about you, man? You date exclusively white women or what?
Look, I go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated.
And?
I like who like me.
Yeah. You dress like a white woman.
I dressed me there once upon a time that, you tried to stay fly, but I'm like, nah, man.
You look great.
Let me
so you'll date whoever. It's no like, but now do you feel the pressure though of like, I think at least I'd see it now that there's like a pressure for black women, black men specifically.
Well, not just black men.
Yeah.
Well-off black men. Athletes, celebs, entertainer, influencers like that.
Yeah.
Regular guy.
And what is the pressure?
Because I mean, they say, well, hey, you wait till you get some money and then you go cross. So.
And why do you think that happens?
Why does it happen? Look, have I dated outside my race? Yes. But I dated people that adored me, that appreciated me.
Yeah.
Not to say at the time they didn't.
Yeah.
I've dated my kids. But I dated women that celebrate me and appreciate me, and that's where I'm going to be. I don't look at it because I'm not dating for society. I'm dating for Shannon.
Yeah, I think that's normal. I also think that like if you live in China, you're probably going to date a Chinese person, right? Mm-hmm. And what is the black population of America is like 10%, 12%?
Probably 12%.
So half of that is women.
Yes.
So 6% of America is black women. Mm-hmm. And then the white population in America is, I don't know, like 50% or 60%. I don't know what it is. So
there's 30, 40, 12, like 34. Yeah, probably 40 something percent.
Let's just round it up to
50.
So 25% is white women, right? So you have 4 times the amount of white women than black women. So maybe the numbers, maybe it's not just like a black guy gets on and then he dates a white girl.
Right.
Maybe there's just more white women.
Well,
they're out there just by the numbers. Yeah, well, there is. So like, yeah, because I can imagine if I was a black woman and I saw that, I would feel that way. I'd be like, whoa, what the going on? Like, why I feel like
But I
don't
know if we as black men, if we feel that same way when we see a black woman dating a white guy. I don't think it elicits the same response.
I think you guys are a little intimidated when we date black women because I don't think you can fill our shoes. I feel like you're a little worried. I feel like you can't get to the back of it after us.
No, I bet we good. I do see that a lot. I'd be like, oh,
she's off the market. Like whenever I was dating a black girl, I would see black guys be like, oh man, can't do that.
You never dated a black girl.
I haven't?
No.
Okay. Sure. I guess I haven't.
Oh, you got down with the brown?
Yeah, what do you mean? Of course.
Okay.
Why is this surprising? Well, I'm not pounding you on that. Like it's some accomplishment. Yeah, there's hot girls, you know, and then you try to put your pee-pee in them, you know?
But okay, how about this?
Is that shocking to you that a white guy, like, this is so interesting, the world. Is that like shocking to you that there's, you know, that white people will date out of their race? Do you think only white people only date white?
No.
Oh, you thought I was Jewish too, so you assume probably I'm dating like a Jewish person.
Yeah.
Right.
Your wife Jewish?
My wife she was raised Christian,
But
technically her grandma is Jewish. But like you kind of couldn't be back then, so she had to like.
right.
So, but according to the Jewish religion, if the mom's blood is Jewish, they consider you Jewish.
Right.
But she's raised Christian. Like, you know, she goes to church.
Right.
Sometimes I go to church too. Do you go to church?
I haven't been in a while.
Why not?
Because the church is the building. My church is here.
That's what lazy say, bro. Get in the building, man.
But the worst,
Get in the building.
the worst people are in church. Praise Lord and doing the worst stuff.
But Christ is king though, right?
He is.
I didn't feel. I didn't feel very convinced by that.
Nah, honestly, I really don't do a whole lot of talking about my religion because, you know.
Well, what is are you Muslim?
No.
What are you?
I was raised Baptist.
Okay. Tell me about that. What's that about?
What do you mean?
Like, what's distinguishable about the Baptist church compared to like a Presbyterian or something?
I've only been to the Baptist church. I went to the Catholic church one time. I kind of like that.
Really?
Yeah, that's drive-by. 30 minutes.
What do you mean? Wait, the Baptist church is all day?
And then you go out of there. Black church, Baptist ain't like that.
Now,
you there at 9, you're out at 5.
No way.
Yeah, like a job.
It's the whole day.
Yeah, man.
Now, was there singing in your church, or is that just a stereotype?
No, there's singing, lots of singing.
And good stuff, or what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had a lady named Miss Margie Bird, rest her soul.
Yeah.
That lady knows she could sing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But Christian music is like unbelievable. I get emotional. Yeah. We would go to this church up in, it was in a school. It's in a school up in Harlem.
Yeah.
And where my wife's brother would go, and they had these like really talented musicians that would sing. Like one guy was like on Broadway, he was part of the church, but it was like in like a school auditorium. And I'm not a guy who really grew up with religion, but like I'm in there and I'm bawling every single time. What is that? Is there something about like the people giving themselves to this? There's something beautiful about people giving themselves to a higher power, that like submission to the unknown.
Man, when that word hit, that spirit hit.
But I thought that's what you were doing. I think when you were giving your speech, you were preaching to me, and not like you were preaching the gospel, but you were talking about something that was so, like the way you were speaking about your grandma, there was something
I'm very passionate.
Divine about it.
I was very passionate about the impact that she had on me. And that was my one time, Schulz, that was my time to give Mary Porter a face. Because they had heard about her. But now, as the guy that did my bust, you could see it. He brought that clay to life. It was my time to bring Mary Porter to life with my voice.
Yeah.
And to shape and to show the world just who this woman was.
And I was reading that you said that like she wasn't very like vocal with her love, but she demonstrated it. And I've heard that from people. Like, I wonder if this is also like a time thing. Like, now I tell my daughter all the time, like she can't even understand the words. I love you. Yeah. That will be the first thing that she understands.
Right.
But I've heard this from people before. Like, you can communicate love without saying it.
Yeah.
Sometimes even saying it and not behaving it is worse.
Right.
So you're almost tricking somebody. You're like, you're telling them you love them, but then you're not around, you're not doing whatever. But you could feel the love from her, huh?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely. Well, I think the thing is, she took my mom, she raised her 9 kids and took my mom's 3, and there's no question in my mind that she loved my mom's 3 more than she loved her own.
Wow.
So for us...
Why is that?
You know, they say that grandparents love the grands more than they love their own kids. Because I think the thing is that, you know, you have a better understanding because as a parent, this is your first experience.
Yeah.
And now you know it is. Now you know how to do it. So you get a second crack around to try to raise grandkids. And man, it was, I know I'm not here. We don't accomplish, my brother and I don't accomplish nearly what we accomplished. And I used to have the idea, Andrew, is that I would look at like, man, I did it. Everybody should be able to do it. But then it really dawned on me one day sitting alone, everybody doesn't have a Mary Porter. So that's maybe why. Maybe they had the same desire.
Why do you think you're so comfortable giving credit to other people?
Because I realize you don't realize how much one can accomplish if he or she doesn't mind who gets the credit. I'm okay. I'm okay mentioning CJ. I'm okay mentioning Ashley, who runs Nightcap. I ain't got no problem. My brother, my coaches, I ain't got no problem. I understand that, yes, I'm the face of it, but I do realize that there are people behind the scenes that make this machine go. Yeah. And I'm cool with that.
I think it means, and again, I don't want to speak for CJ, but like, I think it probably means so much to even hear yourself be mentioned, especially when you're like behind the camera. Yeah. And I think it makes those people, work and grind that much harder. But usually they're not mentioned. A lot of people, I think, especially in Hollywood, are so empty. There's just this bottomless pit they're trying to fill constantly.
No, I'm good.
But that's what I saw from the speech. You are full. Yeah. And I don't know if, and the reason I brought up the grandma love thing is that, like, I think that happens when you're young. I think that you I don't know if say decide, but you're raised in a way that like you're worthy of love and you're worthy of greatness. And I think that's the people that you're around. Right. And there are people that aren't raised like that and they're constantly trying to fill it. And we've all interacted with those people. And they sometimes can be entertaining, but they also suck and they're like exhausting after a while. And it's just cool to know that that happens. Yeah, just through straight investment. She just invested with you, right? She's like, she was there for you.
Yes, when people say they gave you their last, I remember being in college and she would send $5 and, no was, hey, this all Granny got.
Wow.
And I appreciated that. I just knew, although I was lived in Glenville, I was born in Chicago, lived in Glenville, my mind was a million miles away. That's where I was, but that wasn't what my mind was.
And were you ever able to communicate how important she was to her?
I don't think, even though I didn't say it, when I would go home and people would say, Mary, you did a great job with those boys. They're so respectful, they're so well-mannered. It's yes, sir, it's no, sir, it's yes, ma'am, it's no, ma'am. Yeah. She didn't really care about the football stuff.
Yeah, because that's your dream.
Yeah, she didn't really care about that. It got her a life that she probably wouldn't enjoy the last 30 plus years of her life. Yeah. But that was being good people. That's what she wanted that's what she wanted her kids and grandkids to be. Yeah. Let me ask you this. So,
my pops has dementia, right? So he's losing his memory. He really has no short-term memory anymore. He still holds on to some like old memories. And it's like one of those things that every time I see him, I'm like, have I communicated in my life how incredibly important he was? And you just hope you do. Like, but again, maybe you do it without the words. Like your grandma communicated her love to you. Yeah. Without you,
she never
without
said
saying it.
She never said it.
So maybe we've also communicated their importance to us without saying it. I guess we can hope that. Right. Even though I have said it, and I tell them every single time. But you just hope before they leave that they know that they're everything.
I'm a little older than you, and I grew up in an era, they fed you, they clothed you, they took care of you. That was love. So I don't need to tell you. You got food on the table, you got clothes on your back. That's love. Yeah. And so that's the way, and and you have to break that because a lot of times you raise your kids like you were raised. Yeah. Because that's what you know. Yeah. So for me, I had to tell myself, okay, I love my kids. I have to tell them. I didn't get to tell, but I knew she did. Yeah. I knew my grandfather loved me. Yeah. Because of how they treated me and what they did for me. Yeah. You take somebody else's kid and you raise them as your own. That's love.
You know that because you got kids now.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what that is to raise a child.
Absolutely.
That's a different ball game, man. I actually think that we lose sight of that a little bit. I don't think that we give enough credit to the women who stay home to raise children full time. And I think that in an effort to be progressive, right? Like my mom worked, it was her business. But in an effort to be progressive, we put so much on women. We're like, you should work, but you should also take care of the kid. You should also take care of the house and all this stuff. And I think we've lost sight of how important just doing that thing is.
Right. But we grew up in an era, though, the women did that. They worked and took care of the house.
But in that era, I would imagine, there was a great respect and honor of those women.
Right.
They were the center of the house.
Correct.
Right? It's like, I mean, you could see contrived stereotypes, but like the grandma was the focal figure of the home. It don't matter if she's the Italian grandma, the black grandma, whatever it is. The family rotates around her. What she says goes. She keeps the whole family together. And there's this great honor and respect. And I worry in like my wife's time, you know, that like my wife has this like guilt for staying home with the baby.
But no.
She got her MBA. Right. She was working for Apple.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's what she wanted to do. And she almost feels like she has to explain to people when they ask what she's up to. No. And I hope we maybe get back to a time where, hey, women, you want to work? That's great.
Right.
But if you want to raise your family, that's incredible.
That's a full-time job in itself.
Yes,
that's work.
That's incredible. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool in our lifetime if we could get back to that.
Right. You mentioned that you was early in your career, you was telling a joke and a guy punched you. Was that the only incident with somebody?
No, I used to get in fights all the time.
Is that's why you started boxing, to learn how to fight so you can defend yourself?
I mean, I think it's important for a man to be able to like defend themselves. I think it's good for your self-esteem and your character. Now, I'm no like tough guy. Like I'm not trying to fight people ever. Like, but I do think for your confidence I think every guy should kind of learn some form of self-defense. You know what I mean?
You ain't hit him? You got a mic stand. You ain't hit it with the mic stand.
Bro,
you ain't throw the mic.
Also, you have to understand, like, this show is at a restaurant. I'm performing like on the floor in front of like the bus station at the restaurant. So like, I thought he's getting up to go to the bathroom or something. I got no clue exactly what's going on. It's not like he walked up onto the stage. I mean, my spidey sense was tingling. You know what I mean?
No, after you hit you
I was
side
on
the head,
118th and Malcolm X.
You
know what I mean? Like, they were tingling the second I got above 96th Street. They were tingling. Yeah.
So but that didn't deter you from telling, because clearly he was offended.
I've had people throw bottles of beer at me.
Not recently. That's early in your career.
Yeah,
not
early
now.
in my career.
Right.
Yeah. Because at that time you have the ideas, but you don't have the skills to make them funny every single time. It's still got to be silly enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, for example, that joke that I made about with the shits and gigs about the black woman effect. It wasn't silly enough where even like the person who is most easily offended still found it funny.
Okay.
But there's a way where it can be silly. There's a way where there's like an artistry in it. and like earlier in my career, I hadn't developed the artistry. And like now, like when I'm on stage, I think it's different than podcasts where you're just shooting the shit.
Right.
But on the stage, I think I'm pretty good at like getting away with that.
Where are you on joke stealing? Because I've heard people say, nah, that's taboo, don't steal no jokes. And then some I've heard comedians lately say, hey, write better jokes. My pushback is, if somebody writes a song, sings a song, and then you come behind and and change a few words, write a better song? No, you stole that person's song.
Yeah, you can't steal. You can't steal. It's like, it's also in comedy, you have to understand, like, comedy's really popular now.
Yeah.
Shout out Joe Rogan, you know what I mean? Like, it's just amazing, his influence, and like, really just made it this like cultural sensation. Right? But the reality is that like, before that, we weren't really cared about or respected. You know, I love comedy always. Like, I grew up on comedy, but like, it's not like Hollywood took it serious. There's not a lot of money in it, to be honest with you. Now there's money, but like back then, Hollywood couldn't make real things out of it. They tried to make a sitcom, but stand-up they're not really caring about. So the only thing we had were these jokes. And the idea that like, it could take you a year to develop a joke. And then somebody else goes and does it. That's fighting. Like,
even if they change the premise of it, like I might tell a joke with a bottle, and you tell a joke with a can. It's still.
Here's the thing: if they're stealing it, this is another thing comics got to understand too. Is like, it's possible more than one person has the same idea. So like, if somebody is stealing, like they're literally going, "Hey, I saw that. No, I'm going to use it." That's wrong.
Right.
But like, there's jokes that I do or have done that I've seen other people kind of do similar shit.
Get it, yeah.
And like my knee-jerk reaction isn't, that guy's a thief. My knee-jerk reaction is like, oh, I thought it was a more unique idea than it is, but maybe somebody else also had a unique idea.
Right.
Like, I don't want to immediately put thief on you.
Yeah.
And now with the internet, and this is the shit that's like humbling, I think, to comics, is like, there's billions of people tweeting the funniest thing they could tweet.
Yeah.
every angle about the president getting shot in the air
Yeah.
is going to be said. You're not going to say anything like that only you said.
Right.
Like that's even why, this isn't the reason why, but like my last special, not to like shamelessly plug, but like just a really personal story.
Plug it.
Nah, but it's on Netflix March 4th now. But like it's a personal story because this is the thing I went through. So I hope other people talk about, maybe trouble getting pregnant and starting a family. But I hope other people do so it takes away the stigma. But also like this is my experience.
That's your story.
So there's, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
in a time where everybody can have their hot take about politics or whatever it is, I felt like maybe this is going to be more unique and I can separate myself a little bit from it. Yeah.
I get that. Because sometimes, like, I don't watch sports with the sound.
Wait, really?
No.
Why?
Because I don't want them to influence what I'm going to say.
For example?
So when I'm watching a football game, there's no sound.
This is so interesting. When I'm creating a set, like when I'm creating whatever, I don't watch any stand-up. When I'm creating my hour, I don't watch it because I don't want it to influence me at all. Wow. So now when you go up that night and you say something, if Stephen A said something similar, you in your heart at least know you both just... Good for you, and what a great idea. Because it sucks if that is your reaction, and then you see someone else having, you're like, but I organically thought of that.
Yes.
Like, I never saw
And
him.
sometimes I'm like, well, such and such said that. I was like, I don't know what he said because I didn't listen to the sound, so I don't know what he or she said. This is what I'm watching the game. This is what I deduce from it.
Do you put music on with it? Do you put a podcast on with it? So you just watch in silence?
I'm just watching in silence.
Like a serial killer.
But it's gotten so bad. I watch all stuff like that now. I watch regular TV. It drives my.
So you got subtitles on?
No, I'm just looking.
Shannon, this is a problem, bro.
Maybe.
Shannon, there's storylines and there's dialogue that are very important.
I believe it.
So you're watching Severance with no sound.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, a lot of stuff I watch, I rewatch. I already know what it is saying.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing.
Yeah. What about porn?
No, I don't get into porn.
You don't do porn? Really? You didn't watch your boy Ocho's porn?
What porn he had?
He said he was doing an amateur porn.
Man, Ocho be trolling.
Who do you think's got a bigger?
Hey, what you? I don't know.
You or Ocho Cinco? Who do you think's got a bigger dick? You or
I have
Ocho
no
Cinco?
idea. Let me ask you this.
Would he think that he is a bigger one or you?
Man, he had the surgery, so.
So post surgery, you think he's bigger?
I mean, I don't know. He said he went from 3 to 11, so I'm gonna take his word for it.
Do they put it at the end or do they put it in the middle?
I have no idea. That was, I have no idea.
Do you think they just put a whole head on top of it?
They got a place in Grand Junction where people go and they have reassignment and stuff like that, but I don't know.
Oh, you can take someone else and put it on yours like a Mr. Potato.
Nah, they don't work like that, bro. They don't work like that.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think you can just take somebody's finger and stick it on yours. It's got to be yours, right?
I don't know how that works.
Well, if you lose a finger or you lose an arm, I don't think you can put somebody else's arm on your arm. It'd have to be yours, right?
Well, you can put someone's eyeballs into your face. I saw that Will Smith movie where he did that.
iRobot?
No. 16 pounds or something like that.
Oh.
And then he gave the liver. You can give all sorts of body parts.
You
can give people your heart. You can't give them your cock. Of course you could give them your cock.
No.
You wouldn't on your deathbed allow...
Bequeath, no. I'm going to use it when I go to heaven.
What's he going to do up there in heaven with that thing,
Hey. You did catch some flack.
We getting off this combo?
You did catch some flack.
What I catch some flack for?
Transgender.
What'd I say about the transgender?
Well, I guess you said transgender women is like blacks in sports because they kind of like took it over.
Oh, no. You're see, this is why you can't tell the joke.
Well, tell it.
No, insert it. You can insert it. What did I say? I got it here. Hold on. Let me get the exact one. That joke was good as shit, but I don't think
you
any
compare trans women to taking over women's sports to black taking over professional sports. Black runs faster, jump higher than white.
Well, you used to.
Still do.
No. Now White's got it back, dude.
Well, y'all got Mac McClung, 3-time dunk champ.
I'm saying we're the 3-time dunk champs.
Cooper DeJean got a pick in the Super Bowl.
We got the best defensive. I mean, it's really something's in the water.
Yeah.
I think
I
so.
mean, the
This is
best
what?
player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic.
Hookah Doncic. We got Hookah Doncic.
Yeah.
We got, I mean, it's kind of crazy right now.
Yeah.
Whites are having a comeback.
Yeah.
What's going on? What do you think it is?
You got one DB. Y'all got two DBs.
Wait, who's the other
Corners. There's a DB from the Broncos. I think they went to the same school. Might have.
He's a white guy? Mm-hmm. Usually that comes up on our radar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but that's a big deal. The white DB is a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think there's so few white DBs?
I don't know. I mean, every once in a while, Scott Case was in the league. When I was in the league, I played against Jason Sehorn.
Jason Sehorn. Mm-hmm. But he was getting cooked.
He was good. He was good until he hurt his knee.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, he was really good. He didn't get
because his knee didn't know he was white. And then once his knee found out he was white, it's like, what are we doing playing this position? Let's start coaching or something.
I don't think the guys go out for those positions.
Wait, why?
I mean, normally.
Now, careful now. We might be talking about stereotypes.
No.
But I wouldn't want you to do that.
I don't think they go out for that position. They normally play wide receiver. They play quarterback.
Yeah.
Or they'll play safety.
Yes.
That is the corner is a speed position, a lot of skill, a lot of technique, and a lot of guys they feel they're better equipped to play safety.
Here's the joke. Ready?
Okay.
Women are really upset that the trans women are like competing in women's sports with them. But I'll be honest, I can't wait for the day when trans women completely replace women at women's sports. That's my dream. I have a Martin Luther King dream that one day trans women completely replace women at women's sports. And then women will know what white people went through when we let black people play sports. That's difficult, ain't it? That's why we have no sympathy for you ladies. We hear you on the news like, how can we win? They run faster and jump higher. We're like, oh, I wonder what that is like. I wonder. That must be so difficult to have a group of people.
Anyway, that's the joke.
Let me ask you this. Who's your Mount Rushmore comedians? You do. I don't know. In New York, it's 4. You can only get 4 heads because people be trying to put 5, 6, 7 heads on Mount Rushmore.
Sure.
You got 4.
Patrice O'Neal.
Okay.
Eddie. Bernie Mac. Chris Rock.
Nice little group.
Yeah.
Who influenced you?
First person I ever listened to do stand-up was Eddie Murphy. It was my father. He put in a cassette tape. Now we're dating myself here, but like not VHS, audio.
Yeah.
And we listened to Delirious.
Okay.
I remember seeing my dad.
84?
No, I was born in 83, so this is later, but maybe it came out in 84. Yeah. And he was doing the bit about like, what if Mr. T was gay?
Yeah.
What if Mr. Ralph Cramden was humana. Yeah. And I saw my dad laughing so hard. And like from that moment, I can tell you the exact moment that I knew I was going to be a comedian before even knowing it. Mm-hmm. But it was like, I want to make my dad laugh like that. And Eddie was just a genius. And then I got roped into buying those Def Comedy Jam VHS tapes. Remember when he was like, there was some 1-800 number. I called it from the house. I'm like, Mom, I need your debit card or whatever. Like, I'm getting sent the new Def Comedy Jam VHS. And then I saw Kings of Comedy with some friends in the movie theater. We watched it in a movie theater.
Yep.
And I saw Bernie Mac. And I was like, wow, that is truly the funniest human being I've ever seen in my life. And at this point in my life, I didn't really know that there were bits. And he was so conversational. Like, if you remember Bernie, like... Mm-hmm. Like, he was funny, and then the jokes were like the sprinkles on top. Mm-hmm. But he himself just existed
so animated
as a funny human being. And, oh my God, it was just like, I was just watching this like super genius on stage. And then I saw Patrice O'Neal when I was doing comedy as like a comedian early on, and I was like, oh, that is the craft at its highest. It does not get, in my opinion, from everybody I've seen in person, mm-hmm. that is the craft at its highest. Rest in peace, Patrice O'Neal. Have you seen Patrice before? Yeah. Go watch Elephant in the Room if you can. It's probably on Netflix. It is, I mean, if you want to talk about like his ability to control attention, his ability to like, to lure you into his thought process and get you to take down your guard. Mm-hmm. A lot of times when we're watching stand-up, we're almost kind of guarded. We're like, all right, where's the joke? Where's the joke? But he so quickly gets you to just be like,
disarms you, and you're just like,
we're hanging, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, we're hanging out. And you're just looking at a super genius.
Right.
and whose skill of communication in the world is making people laugh.
Right.
And the little things that he like sets traps for the audience, then dunks. Oh, it's just, to me, that's the highest it's ever been done.
Right.
Is Patrice O'Neal.
I read where you felt Chappelle took a shot at you on Rogan.
Yeah. I think it was about the slideshow. He
Yeah.
called it like a slideshow.
Right.
I mean, it had some pictures in it. but yeah, I guess that. I think it was more like Rogan was like building me up.
Right.
And he was just being the great guy he always is, which is like trying to build up young talents
Yes.
and like give them praise. And like he's sitting across from, someone who's recognizes
Many believe he's the GOAT.
is the GOAT, as they should. Like he's brilliant.
He is.
And I think that he was like really kind of like serving it up for Dave to be like, hey, he is great.
He's really good.
And then he was kind of like, I don't know about that, And I think, there's part of you that's like, man, I wish it didn't go that way, but it's okay. It is what it is.
Joe, I've not had one person come on this show and say anything bad about Joe Rogan. They give him his flowers. Like, Joe, hey, you need this, call Joe. You want support, call Joe. Joe's going to highlight you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about Joe Rogan? What makes Joe Rogan so special?
He's a benevolent king. Most people that have the disposition that like allows them to become powerful are not good. It's very rare you get a person that wants power
Yes.
and wants to help.
Right.
Usually people that want power have like a psychosis. They have an issue, right? And they're like crazy people. Like every tyrant of any country, most of them are not like benevolent.
Right.
And he's a person who, I don't think he ever was like, I'm going to be the most influential. I'm going to be whatever.
Yeah.
But throughout the entire time has looked out for other people.
Yes.
Like the amount of people he's just made millionaires, the amount of people he's made thousandaires, like the amount of people that it's just unbelievable. So I think when you feel that, and you feel that from someone in a position that does not need to do that, and when most people don't, there's a lot of gratitude.
Right.
There's just a lot of gratitude towards him, I think.
I had Katt on, and Katt
We know.
pulled the curtain back.
Yeah.
I don't think people knew that comedians were at each other like this as much as they were. And I think Katt pulled the scab back, pulled the curtain back. And did you know? Are you on? I
think it's really competitive.
Really? Everybody says that.
Yeah, I think it's like, to me, I think it's really competitive, and like we just don't really share our business publicly a lot. And I think Katt kind of shared it.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of competition. And I think sometimes there's like a scarcity mindset where it's like, oh, because he's doing this, I'm not. Which is not the case.
Correct.
There's a lot of nights out, people got to go to shows.
Right.
Nobody's taking food off your plate. But sometimes when you don't have something, you're looking for an explanation
reason why.
as to why. But it's just like when I see guys arguing over like who could cover who on a podcast.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be competitive.
Right.
And then the people who are super successful, when you reach a certain level of success, people are looking for reasons why you shouldn't be that way. Like, I'm sure you experienced it.
Yeah.
When this show was like a fledgling show,
Yeah.
you remind everybody of their dreams. Once you do 80 million views and you're millions of this and millions of dollars, you got your own cognac, now you remind people of what they have not accomplished.
Right.
So now they start going like, oh, but he just does this.
Right.
And he just does that.
Or he sold out to Hollywood. Or he a part of the Illuminati.
So, which is like the greatest compliment you can get. I mean, like once people start saying you're Illuminati,
Yeah.
you made it. Listen, making it as a black dude in America is either you're gay or you're part of the Illuminati.
Yes.
That's how you make, if you don't have a gay rumor
Right.
and you don't have Illuminati, you haven't made it yet.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys say in y'all community? When a white guy makes it.
No, we say Epstein's Island. We're like, he was on the flight logs. No, but I think what happens is there is this like competition, and then sometimes now that there are these platforms, it kind of gets out.
Right.
And it just comes from, people wanting a little bit more.
But here's the thing, though, Schulz, is that 80% of the money that's in circulation was printed since 2020.
So there's a lot more money out right now.
So if they run out, they'll print more.
Yeah.
I'm not taking. See, you can't get mad at results you didn't get for work you didn't put in.
You're speaking logically, but people react off emotion, man. And I think sometimes emotionally, they're just trying to find a reason why they aren't where you are. Yeah, I'm not where he is because I didn't.
But you're not working hard. Because you criticize me, say all you do is work. You ain't got no life. I see now why you're not married.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? So it's like you work too hard, and that's why you're not married.
Right.
If you were married, they'd be like, yeah, but you don't really care about your family because you're always working. Like,
correct.
There's always going to find a way to tear you down. But again, it has nothing to do with you.
Right.
It's just now you're at a level where it's, you remind people of what they haven't achieved. And but also here's the thing. When we get to those levels, we can't really about it. That's the cost of success. A lot of people get to those levels and they complain about all the hate and that kind of shit. It's like, nah. You got to pay the piper. If you want to sit across from a dude and drink cognac and make millions of dollars and wear a yoga outfit, you're going to have to deal with some people on you online.
But I didn't know.
I know it's surprising.
Yes.
It's more surprising because you're like, I'm a good person. I help people. I go through the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good to all my people. Everybody around me's eating. Like, I'm a generous person. Like, I want other people to win. But that has nothing to do with it. You've reached a level where your success is going to make certain people feel a way, and they're going to want to chip away. That's a human instinct. It's in us, and we got to take it.
Right.
We can't cry about it. This is the cost of success.
But why does my success make you feel? What makes you feel bad about yourself?
That's human instinct. Unfortunately, it's human instinct. It's just who we are. The only people that we're not upset, we're not like mad about their success. Also, the easier the thing that you do to be successful is, the more resentment people have. So like, comedy is scary for people. So like a lot of times, like if people are upset at they're not really upset at my like stand-up success. But podcasting looks like the easiest shit in the world. Like anybody can hang out with their friend and call each other gay for 2 hours.
Right.
That's podcasting, right? So it's like, not saying we've done that. We would never do such a thing. Anyway, but like, so the easier the thing is, and the more money you make in it, the more resentful it is. Because you're like, I could also do that. But here's the reality, there are intangibles here that are really difficult.
Correct.
You setting up the systems, you finding a guy like CJ, you building all this shit, you finding a new venue every single time, structuring it, scheduling, like these things are tricky. But us complaining about how hard it is doesn't help our cause either. This is the cost of doing business. And we got to be grateful. Because every person you admire probably got haters. They called Tom Brady a system quarterback.
Yeah.
That's how you know. Did you call him that?
No.
Okay. But that's how you...
was the system.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how you know it's like there's always going to be something to be said. And that is just the cost of success. There's very few people who are like unanimously beloved.
No.
And successful.
Right.
Like I don't even know any who.
Michael Jordan.
You don't think that we were hating on Mike? I'm a Knicks fan.
Oh, yeah.
I was hating on Mike like
You had every
crazy.
reason to hate on. But see, you was hating because... And that's what I tell people.
Yeah.
When I played for the Broncos or the Ravens, I understood the Steelers were going to dislike me.
Yeah.
I understood Kansas City a certain team.
Yes, there's a justification.
Yes.
And this, I get it. You feel like there's like an unfairness.
Yes.
They're like, this isn't based in reality. If you wanted to criticize you for a reason that you might agree with, then you'd be like, okay, I can do better at that.
Right.
But it feels like it's just hate to hate. And unfortunately, that's part of the cost of success, man.
I'm learning, bro.
I mean, you're going to get used to it. You got a lot of success. You didn't go through it with football at all?
Not like this.
Because it's hard. Football is hard. Boxing,
because
hard. UFC, hard. You're earning that money.
Yeah.
You're putting your life on the line.
They was like, first of all, I'm not going to be 6'2". I'm not going to be 230. I'm not going to be able to take those hits. I'm not going to be able to do this. But it's like, man, I can get a camera and get a buddy of mine and I can do that.
There we go. I promise you, the harder this shit, nobody's upset at Floyd's money.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get in there with the dudes that he got in there
Right.
with. You know, nobody's upset at Marvin Hagler making money. It was earned.
You're independent.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Because you had a special somewhere. You brought it back.
Yep.
And says, okay, I'm gonna put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
What made you do that?
They didn't want to do a couple of the jokes that were in it.
And you're like, no, I ain't taking no jokes out.
Yeah, I didn't want to take any of the jokes out.
You feel it would dilute the special?
Yeah, and also just like principle. I was like, this
you don't want to start this.
Yeah, I just felt like, and then, so yeah, I was able to put it out, and the people like really supported it, and it was awesome.
20 million views on YouTube.
Got 20 million views on YouTube. We also sold it and that was great. And like that just it was just
Money
incredible.
on top of money, huh?
It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah. People got upset at me for that, for putting it out for selling it and then putting it out on YouTube later. Bro, this is the thing. People will create narratives about anything. I'm like, every movie I ever watched, I saw it in a movie theater and then it was available on TV.
Yeah.
Every UFC fight I ever watched, I saw it.
And guess what? They're on Netflix or Amazon. So every movie that's been in the theater.
So in my mind, I'm like, I'm just doing the exact same thing that those big billion-dollar corporations do. You're not mad at them.
No.
But
movie theater, hotel room, then it goes to Netflix, Amazon.
So, but this is the thing. It's like, now, the majority of people are very supportive, but there were people frustrated about that. And I even told them that I was going to put it on YouTube, by the way. But it is what it is. These are the things you just gotta deal with.
Has there been a situation where venues have canceled you?
I did, yeah. A few times that happened to me.
Really?
Yeah. The place where I was going to film my special, and we had to change it. I think that they were maybe potentially frustrated about the Trump interview.
Wow.
And then, but also, I also don't want to I don't want to punish venues. It's the board. Do you know what I mean? Like a venue is just a beautiful space.
Right. Correct.
And the board makes the decisions for that venue.
Right.
So if the board changes, that venue can prosper and just be awesome. And I just don't want to put a stain on a specific venue, but rather maybe the people making
those decisions.
Yeah. And they just made a bad decision.
Right. Was it expensive for you to buy your special back?
Yeah. Yeah.
What have you learned about ownership? Because everybody's like, I want to own, I want to run a business.
Yeah.
But do people realize and understand how much?
Owners is expensive, bro. You own an apartment, goes wrong, you got to fix it.
Yes.
You know when you're renting and you just get to call some guy?
Hey, man, my dishwasher broke.
Yo, you even go, your dishwasher broke. Yo.
Your dishwasher
Your shit is broke and you should come fix it. So it's like, yeah, there are, but here we are, complaining about privilege. What do they call this? Like champagne problems or something? But
no crying on the yacht.
There it is. But there are different costs with it. But I will take that any day.
Right.
Just having control of it.
That's what I love
think about you in your life. How much more liberating is it doing what you do now versus when you were only working for the networks?
Yes. I was talent.
That's it.
Now I'm in partnership with these sponsors and advertisers and things of that nature. We're partners.
You're probably making so much more money too.
I do okay.
No, I know you do okay.
No, I ain't got no comedy special, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Yo, should we trade banks? Should we trade bank accounts right now?
Yeah. I'd like to trade with you because you're doing real well.
Nah. You got more money than me, man.
Hey,
yeah.
That Netflix money hit different because I heard what they paid Rock and Chapelle.
Yeah.
You get that bag
They don't pay the white guys that much.
Man, go ahead over there.
They don't. It's a reparations thing.
That's DEI money.
Nah, shout out Netflix, man. Supporting white comedians. Go. Yeah.
When you got money, when you got real money,
yeah.
What was the first thing you buy? You buy anything extravagant?
Like first stupid thing?
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I got into watches for a sec.
Yeah.
And then I got away from the watches.
What you get?
Do you know
off catalog pieces?
Yeah. Do you know Vacheron Constantin?
Yeah, Vacheron.
Yeah, I got the 222. That's a tough piece to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so that was my holy grail.
That's it?
No, I got a few. I got the AP. I got a Daytona.
Yeah.
I got the
You like LP Jordan?
Beautiful watches, man. Beautiful watches. But I don't have any of those. Why
you stop?
I think, if I'll be honest with you, I think I got them because it was me proving to myself and other people that I had a level of success.
Right.
And then I think once I got used to that, once I accepted that I had some...
You have reached that level?
Yeah. I didn't feel the need to
prove it anymore.
To do it. Or I did different, I buy something else, but yeah. I don't know, yeah. My focus is what would be more cool to me is just having enough money that I never have to work again.
Right.
So anything I do is purely, authentically what I want to create.
Right.
but I also got a daughter, and then hopefully we'll be able to expand our family. And like, you know, you have kids, that shit gets, they want to, you know, it's expensive having.
Yeah, it's. I mean, to like not work, I'm a long way from that. But I give myself 5 years.
You could not work and like your just lifestyle would change a little bit.
Yeah.
But I imagine, I don't want to count your pockets, but I know you got enough money to not work. You just got to live differently.
Yeah. But I gave myself 5 years, and I told the team, I said, look, save your pennies, because I got 5. I ain't promised you anything after that.
I can't imagine you not working.
I know everybody says that.
But think about it. Before we started, you were telling me that you were going to school full-time as a kid. And then you were wrangling chickens.
Catching chickens, yeah. Claxton Chicken Portrait.
Shout out the Claxton Chicken Portrait. And you were doing that for, you said it was 6 hours, so that's after school.
No, we go school. If we had practice football, you know, we had football practice, then we come home, do homework. My uncle would pick us up in the chicken truck. We get up probably about 9. We probably have to go 30 minutes to 45 minutes away. Get there about 9:30. We catch anywhere between 8 and 12,000 chickens. It takes us about 3.5 hours to get that. We get home around midnight, 1 o'clock. Wash off because we didn't have indoor plumbing. We take a sink.
I read that. I read you didn't take a shower until you were 15.
Well, I went to a 4-H camp, but I didn't take a shower in a home until I was 20. My brother got us a home when he went pro. So that was the first time I actually took a shower in a home.
What was that like? You beat off?
Man, I was like, because for the longest time, you know, we bathed in tubs. You know, we had to draw well water.
Wow. So you're going to get the water in buckets, putting it in the tub, and then heating it?
Well, we'd heat, a lot of times, like in the summertime, we would fill the tub, a tin tub.
So you fill it outside, it heats up throughout the day.
Leave it in the sun.
Yeah.
And heat it up so when we come home from work, we take a shower, we take a bath in the tub. Yeah.
And you're sharing that tin tub?
Yeah.
So the last person that goes in, it was
just me and my brother washing the tin tub.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such a remarkable, like the delta, what you've been able to achieve in your life.
Yeah.
From not having like plumbing or indoor, like a shower, to where you are right now. Holy. Do you ever think about that?
I do.
Do you have like is there like, do you feel entitled to your success? Do you have the confidence to feel like entitled to it, or do you feel guilt about it ever?
I had to stop feeling guilty because I started to beat myself up.
Like what?
Because I had accomplished so much and everybody else that was around me didn't. And so I wouldn't buy certain things. I wouldn't dress a certain way because I didn't want people to look at me.
Yep.
But then I started to realize
they're going to feel that way no matter
they're going to feel that way no matter what. Yep. Why should I deny myself?
Yep.
How is that going to make you feel better about yourself because I'm denying myself?
Yep.
Because you look at me, you're like, he got money, he can afford that.
Yep.
So I was just doing, and I was like, man, I'm done with that.
Yeah, you got to
live. If I want it, I'm going to get it. If I don't, I dress in, man, you got all that money, you dress in Lulu. Okay, and?
What age is this that you start to change your mentality? Post-football?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Because I was looking like, man, I felt bad. I felt bad because I'm like, man, I got this. Lord has blessed me so much.
Yep.
Not just monetarily, but my family.
Lord, you heard that. The Lord, right?
Yeah.
We got him back. We got him back. He's back, boys. We got him. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, and I was like, man, but Schulz, I ain't gonna lie, just like, man, one day I just woke up and said, man, look, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. If I wanna go spend X for this, I'm gonna spend that for that. I don't spend.
Was there there was no catalyst? It was just your frustration?
Yeah, because then
you were
it
living
dawned
a
on
fake
me.
life almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was living for other people. I can't buy this because people they can't get it. So I'm gonna feel they gonna look down and feel like I'm looking down on them, and then I feel bad.
Yep. No. And now it's almost like you're like turning your nose up at your blessing. You know what I mean? Like you've been blessed with all this.
I've been blessed.
And you don't have to live a life that like on people. When you buy something for you, it's not on somebody else. And if they're gonna have those feelings, they can have those feelings regardless. But you should be able to.
Yeah. I do get. I don't really buy a whole lot of stuff for me.
Yeah.
I do give back a lot. I am, my financial people like, bro, it's okay. You can keep some for yourself. you don't have.
But it feels good to give back,
it
right?
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
I've always wanted. I saw people. I just don't want people to know that I give back. So I don't do anything publicly.
That's interesting. Yeah, good for you on
Right.
that. Yeah.
How was it roasting Tom Brady?
Oh, that was pretty awesome.
That might have been one of the best roasts. That was the old school roast.
Yeah.
When what was the guy like when they had Carol Burnett and all
Don
those guys,
Rickles.
Don Rickles back then.
A
When
lot of stereotype
Don
jokes.
Martin. Look, excuse me.
A lot of
What
stereotype
was the Martin guy name?
jokes.
Dean Martin. There's no way they could do shows like that anymore. Ain't no way.
They did. We did it.
Yeah, but
It was no holds barred. There was nothing.
but y'all would trade. But I'm saying that's the ones that I don't think that's coming back anytime. Because back in the 70s, bro.
It was crazy.
If you look at some of the sitcoms,
Yeah.
they said the N-word, they said a lot.
Yeah, it
I
was
was
wild.
like,
It was wild. Yeah. But I think with the roast, I think everybody. Well, also, I think the pendulum has swung. I think culture is like moving away from sensitivity, and this happens. Like it moves away, and then it goes too far this way,
Right.
and then you need to correct. And this is just culture and America and the world. But that weekend was crazy.
really?
So Brady roast was Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I did my shows at MSG Friday and Saturday. So my whole life I had one dream in comedy, which was to headline Madison Square Garden. I was born and raised in New York City.
Right.
So I have Friday and Saturday at Madison Square Garden, which we don't even know if we're going to get the shows canceled because the Knicks playoff run.
Right.
So literally so many things had to happen in the basketball
Right.
playoffs for even to maintain those shows.
Right.
And then we go Friday, Saturday, and then I fly out Sunday to do the roast
You
of
flew
Tom
private,
Brady.
didn't you?
They flew us out. Netflix did the right thing.
Oh.
They did the right thing.
You fly private too, though, don't you?
Nah, it's too expensive. I'm not there. That's like the next level.
Yeah.
I have done it, but when you do it, you know this more than anybody. But what I like doing, to be honest with you, I really like because like I don't come from crazy money.
No.
So when I get to do money, I love explaining it
Right.
to people who also don't have money.
Right.
Because I like to put them on game on all the that I get to learn about for the first time.
Right.
The jump from first class to private
Oh, it is.
is 10x.
Yeah.
It's 10x. So if it's
PJ compared to first class, and you're in the last row by the bathroom.
bro, it's
in economy.
but it's so convenient.
It is. You pull right up. The plane's gonna leave when you want it to
When you
leave.
want, yeah.
And you got food. Hey, what would you like?
It's amazing. So but that's the thing. It's like to fly private every single time.
Ooh, no.
What you need like $100 million or something like that in the bank? Like what type of people fly private all the time?
Yeah, especially as much as we travel.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm traveling. I'm doing a couple 100,000 miles a year.
Wow.
So-
So you're doing every week you're on a plane.
Damn near.
So yeah, and basically the math for like private flights.
You're probably looking at. I mean, to fly full time, you're probably looking at $3 to $5 million to fly as much. So me and good old Delta.
Delta's the best. I don't even care if the plane spins. Delta really is the best. You can't fly anybody else. Shout out Delta. Give me my 360 back.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this, man. Y'all held no holds barred. Y'all had no holds barred with Brady because y'all talked about the man. What they were killing the man, even the his wife.
Ex-wife. That divorce must have been bad because he had no problem with those jokes. He was just like, yo, let me. He was like, don't talk about my kids. And we are like, your wife is cool, and he was like, Yeah, when Kev was Tom is the greatest for doing that. But when Kev kept calling him the karate man, that was killing me. That was killing me.
And now she had a kid.
Yeah, that was. What do you think about that?
I don't think nothing. It ain't my ex-wife.
Yeah. Have you ever been married?
I haven't. That would be tough.
So you have 3 kids.
3.
Same woman?
No.
How many women?
3.
Damn.
Yeah.
You were getting after it.
I was.
And then what happened? You found out what condoms were?
Yeah, it was. Whew.
What?
Boy, hey, every time I hear Shannon, I'm pregnant. I was like, "Et tu, Brute?" But
No.
it would be tough. It would be. I think the thing is with Tom,
Yeah.
is that he's probably thinking, and a lot of people are like, well, hold on, Tom Brady got all this money.
Why does he need to do that?
No, he's got all this money, and he still couldn't keep his ex happy.
Oh, yeah, because they don't want money.
So maybe she wanted time, maybe she wanted attention. I don't know what she wanted. Tom seems to be happy. He's moved on. Clearly, she's moved on. But I think in the back of his mind, he's like, this ish probably was going on right in front of my face.
I don't know about that, but I imagine, I don't know. I can't comment. Like, again, the only reason I would even talk about her is because she's a public figure.
Right.
Like, I don't talk about...
Would you make jokes about her now?
Yeah, but she's a public figure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't talk about people's wives or families because they didn't ask to be in this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do.
So, but if your wife is Kim Kardashian or your wife is a famous person, you've asked to be part of entertainment. Right. But just talking about some randomness, I don't care. But like, I don't know. Relationships end, man. It sucks, but they do. Also, it's probably hard. I bet Tom would even acknowledge it's probably hard being married to a guy with like that
singular focus and drive.
Oh my God.
It's the end all be all for him.
And that's probably what makes him so great. Mm-hmm. And I think LeBron even said it recently. It's like greatness is sacrificing time with your family.
Mm-hmm. Like, just a singular focus.
Yeah. That's what I don't want to do.
And it's boring. It's very monotonous to be great.
You felt that.
Yes.
And it is the embracing of the monotony, which is the difference maker between the really good player and the great player.
Yeah. I eat the same thing for 27 straight years. I ate oatmeal every day for 27 straight years. I eat the same thing. I eat pretty much at the same time. I get up at the same time. I do the exact same thing.
Like, that's why I find it hard to believe that you'll retire, meaning just stop doing things.
Right.
It's like your superpower is the ability to get up and do.
Right.
Like, if you could refine it to the most simple thing, you can get up and do the same thing, no matter what is happening, for longer than 99.9% of people probably.
True.
Despite how annoying it is.
Yes.
Like, despite that, like, emotional suffering, you'll just do it.
Yeah.
And most people will be like, I don't want to do it today.
Right.
You eat oatmeal every day.
I did for 27 years, from 1993 till 2020. I eat the same thing every day. I pretty much get up at the same time every day. I do the same thing every day.
So if you stop this, you'll need to fill it with something.
Yeah, I would, and it bothers me. I'm a very meticulous individual.
Okay.
I like you go in my pantry and you look, all the labels are facing out. You go in my refrigerator, all the labels are facing out.
Are you like OCD a little bit?
I am. Everything is hanging up in my closet. It's hanged up a certain way. Long sleeve, short sleeve, colors.
Really?
Yeah.
And how is this helpful to you in your life, you think?
I feel like if it's out of place, my life is out of place.
So the attention to detail applies also to, I imagine, the podcast. I imagine it applies to
everything.
Shows.
Everything needs to work. I'm not an easy person to work for.
Yeah, I was about to say that. No.
I'm not an easy person to work for.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, my team now, they know me. They've been around me a very, very long time. They know how I am. I'm a very attention to detail guy. I want things to operate a certain way, and if they don't operate that way, I need to know why.
What's an example of this? Like, what is?
Don't tell me. I don't like being late. That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yep.
Because you're telling me, F my time. You say my time isn't important. I don't like that. I don't like, don't tell me what can't be done. Tell me like, okay, we're going to figure this thing out.
Yes. I think that's a huge, I think Dove and I were talking about this earlier actually, but it's just like, it's not even worth using our brain to justify why things can't happen.
Right.
I don't want to use any brain power for that at all. I just want to know why it can. And even if in your heart you're going, there's no way this can happen, I want you to tell me a potential solution to make it happen. Because that type of like philosophy, that type of brain power into executing a task will 9 out of 10 times lead you further. You might not get to the destination, but you're going to inch a little bit closer.
Correct.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, what else? This is good.
That's what I told. I was like, CJ, okay, we're doing good. What can we do to make Club Shay Shay better? And I need that tomorrow.
I love it. So it's constant improvement.
He said, what about if we did live entertainment before? So certain episodes we had Teddy Swims perform. We've had
His
Cash
voice
Doll
is
perform.
incredible.
Unbelievable. We had Ty Tribbett. So that's kind of the direction that we going in because I want to turn this thing into like a talk show feel, like an Arsenio Hall.
Did you have to get the rights to his song in order
he signed off on it.
And he signed off on it to play it?
Yeah. Well, he sung it. Live on the show.
Yeah, I know. But like, you know, there's like
Yes. We had his white
a
list.
label and all these other things that have to co-sign it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, his voice is beautiful.
He's unbelievable. So yes, we grind, and I think the thing is with us is that my team, they've been around me for an extended period of time. They know how I am. We're gonna work. You're gonna get paid more than fair, but I expect when I call, I expect you to pick up.
Yeah, and dedication. Yeah,
unbelievable. Because we want the same thing. We want to see Shay Media. We want to see it grow. Everybody, there's enough credit for everybody. CJ has his role. Ash has her role. Rhea has her role. Jordan has his role. My executive assistant, Shelly, she plays her part. Everybody has a role. There's an expectation. If there's not, I demand it.
I love it.
I'm never going to ask any more than I'm willing to give. If I say be here at a certain time, you best believe I'm going to be there.
Love it.
I'm going to give you my best. I expect nothing but your best in return. That's it. And we get along great.
It's good leadership.
But I think that's the only way you can do things. You can never ask more than you're willing to give. And if you do that, they'll respect you. You got Tony.
Can I ask you a real quick question?
Sure.
Was that an expectation that like Sterling set for you?
My grandfather.
It was your grandfather?
Yeah.
Got it.
He didn't do the excuses.
No excuses at all.
None whatsoever. Even as a young boy, but he was always harder on my brother, and that's why I say my brother was kind of like my father. And I remember the day, and I told this before, is that he was really hard on me one day, and we grew up on a farm, and my grandmother asked him, say, Barney, why you so hard on that boy? And he said, Mary, when you live on a farm and you're around heavy equipment and you're around animals, I need him to know the importance of this.
It's for his safety.
Because I might only get a chance to tell him something once, Mary. So I need him to know this is of the utmost importance. Because he could lose a limb, he could lose his life, he get in there with them hogs and they can kill him. And so I understood one time. That's how I am. And it's unfair.
What do you mean?
It's unfair because everybody doesn't see things. It doesn't grasp things like I do. And that was the hardest thing for me, Schulz, is that to get people to see things like I see them as soon as I see them. But they say, well, Shannon, that's in your head, it's not in ours. You need to relay it to us.
How can you communicate to us in a way that is effective? You're not just hammering me. You're helping me understand, helping me learn.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And that was the hardest thing. Yeah. Because, things that I'm a visual learner. Some people learn. I need to see it. You tell me, don't tell me to play, draw it on the board. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody learns things differently.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn to be a great leader, you have to be willing to be led.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can be a leader. CJ, Ash, everybody's job, Rhea, everybody's job is to be my rearview mirror, is to protect my blind spots. What I don't know, you should know. I only surround myself with people like that. Don't tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what I need to know. If I need to know it, tell me. Even if I don't want to hear it. They have my ear. They have my respect. I'll listen to what they say.
I love
CJ
that.
wants this. It wants a particular guest. I might not agree with it. I trust his judgment. I trust Rhea's judgment. She's chief for sales, Shannon. I think we ought to do this deal. I think long-term it might be great for us. I trust her. Ash, the same thing on Nightcap. Jordan, when he taking photos, he's like, I think we ought to do it like this. I trust him. If I can't trust you, implicitly. If I can't trust you implicitly,
it's not there. We can't work together.
Nope.
Yeah, I think that's really smart. It's healthy. But yeah, in order to lead, you have to be willing to be led. You have to trust the people that are working with you enough to put you in positions that you might not be confident about yet. You're confident in them, not the situation. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great.
Tony, how you say his name?
Hinchcliffe?
Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, shout out Tony, man.
He got in trouble with the Puerto Rican joke.
Yeah. He got it.
Have you talked to him?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Tony's the man. So Tony's got like the biggest show. He created the show called Kill Tony. And it's like the biggest I think it's the biggest live podcast on the planet, but it's also like right now the biggest platform for putting on new young comics.
Yeah.
And it's like huge. It's like sprouted all these careers, and it's a phenomenal show called Kill Tony. And but yeah, he was at that MSG rally for Trump, and then he said that joke. And so I actually heard him talk about it since then, and he was saying he was referencing, like, I actually understand the joke a little bit more now.
Right.
When I first heard it, I was like, I go, oh, Tony, this is a perfect example. I go, oh, Tony doesn't know how we feel about Puerto Rico. So in New York, Puerto Rico is like our first exotic trip. If you're a New Yorker and you don't come from like crazy money,
Right.
your first trip, you're not really out of the country. You're in the country.
Right.
But you go to Puerto Rico. I remember the first time going to Puerto Rico, and I'm seeing aloe plants. I'm getting a sunburn. I'm breaking off the leaf and rubbing on myself. I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. So there's this like really endearing quality to us. Like, also New Yorkers, we love Puerto Ricans.
Yes.
There's a thing about New Yorkers, like everybody plays a role here. You know, like each group we with.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes.
Chinatown.
Yeah.
Fire.
Right.
You know, you had to get your PlayStation hack so you could put the fake DVDs. We're in Chinatown, in a mall, underground. Like, your boy had to connect. Like, everybody has their role, and we all kind of work, and there's this beautiful symbiotic relationship.
Yes.
Everybody's aware of everybody else, right? That's why it's the greatest city in the world, in my opinion, because the talents of each group get to flourish, and we all appreciate them and interact together. And it's so small, we have to. LA is spread out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The Persians can live over here, the Armenians can live over here. Like, everybody can be spread out. New York, we don't have that luxury. We're in the shit. So I think that what my first interaction was, he doesn't know that we see Puerto Rico as this like beautiful exotic island.
Right.
Then I heard him talking about, he was like, no, this is an old joke that I had, and there was like a floating like trash thing in the ocean, which was like a big deal that they were trying to figure out and like clean up.
Right, what to do with it, yeah.
So he was actually referencing like an actual climate issue with like recycling. But still, I think that if he was like in New York and working it out at clubs, he'd be like, oh, they're not going to get this. Let me change this for something else. I don't think he like has a personal vendetta for Puerto Rico. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe to our conversation earlier, like it's a placeholder that works inside the joke.
Right.
It's not like, oh, this is how I secretly feel about Puerto Ricans. I'm going to get it out now. Not at all.
Let me ask you a question. If you were to host the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
I would do that.
You would?
That's something I would do. I think I could do it. I think I could do it the best.
Really?
Yeah, I think I could do it.
You think he's gonna invite you to do it?
Well, it's not up to him, but it's and I think her name is Amber Ruffman. I think she's gonna do it this year. But like, I think I could do it because I think I make fun of everybody. I think the concern about that dinner is that usually it's just a pundit that's like only left wing,
right?
Or like, and then the jokes just go in one direction,
right?
And I like the idea, like the concept.
You want everybody to get it.
Yo, how beautiful is it? Like, this is why America's amazing.
Right.
The leader of the free world, the leader of our country,
right,
submits themselves for public humiliation once a year. Like, what a beautiful, like, this is how you know that we don't want tyranny.
Right.
The king would never step down to be made fun of in front of the whole world or in front of the whole country. But this idea that our fearless leader, the one that should control everything, gets to get humbled in front of everybody. Oh, it's beautiful. It's like why comedy is so important to me.
Right.
Like, it's so important to the American identity. It's this great tool to let you know, hey, you're regular. Right. Tom Brady is the GOAT. And we got to make fun of him like he's some regular guy.
Cut his ass up.
But he's, you know what I mean? Like, and like, you look at somebody who's willing to submit themselves to that, and you go, how cool is that? How much humility does he have to even do this? He could be so much better than me on a private island or doing whatever. Yeah. But instead he's like, make fun of me and make fun of my life. So I love that conceptually, and I love that like as part of the American identity.
He did get a pretty penny, so I'll let y'all cut me up too for the
you might be there.
No.
Might be you soon.
What about Tiger Woods?
I think that's who should be next.
You want Tiger under the gun?
Oh yeah, I mean the amount of jokes, like.
Oh yeah, you've been right.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, I'm already smiling at what we can say. Tiger? Oh, dude.
You got a joke already lined up for it?
I'm trying to think. Like, what is it? Like, oh fuck, I don't know. What is the thing with Tiger? You know, Tiger's half black, but every time he gets in a car, he tries to prove how Asian he is.
Man, Tiger, don't do it. Tiger, don't do it. Tiger, don't do it, Tiger.
These stereotypes are fun.
Tiger, don't do it, Tiger.
Stereotypes
They're going
are
to tear you up,
fun.
Tiger.
No, Tiger would be great. Obviously Jordan, but I don't think Jordan will do it.
Oh, no.
He wouldn't do it. Have you met MJ?
I have.
And what was your interaction with him like?
He's mythical.
Yeah, he is.
Mythical. I've never met, I've met some very, very famous people.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody like Michael Jordan. He doesn't even seem real.
What is it? When are you nervous when
It's
you're
like
talking
he's
to him?
elevating. He's like he's glowing. You see the movie The Last Dragon with Bruce Lee going, when he had that thing, he's glowing? That's Jordan. He doesn't seem real.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time that I saw him, and I'm looking at him, and he's probably looking at me thinking like, this dude weird. Man, Sterling Sharp, little brother, weird as hell. I'm just looking at him. I'm like, and he's levitating.
Yeah.
That man's feet were not on that floor in that elevator.
Air Jordan.
And every time I see him.
Oh, you went in an elevator with him?
Yo, check this out. As a matter of fact, I got on the elevator and he and his first wife, Juanita, was already on it. And I almost like, man, I like, F it, I'm getting on this. I like, F it. And you know, I always introduce myself. Hello, I'm Shannon Sharp. Be like, I know who you are, brother.
Wow. Okay, so he obviously he's aware of you, but like it's nice to know that he even says that.
I love, love your brother, you and your brother, man. I love what y'all guys do. Keep it up.
Oh, wow.
And then every time I've seen him since, I get the same reaction. It's like I'm seeing him for the first time and he's levitating.
Yeah.
But he ain't gonna do that.
No.
What about acting? You was in the remake, right? White Man Can't Jump. Underdogs,
I did a little
people.
something in there.
Is that something you would like to do full time?
It's kind of boring acting. I'd like to make
It's
a
too
movie.
much sitting around, isn't it?
It's sitting around, bro. You've done it.
Yeah.
You just sit around all day, and it's just.
I mean, doing commercials is. I can imagine doing a 2-hour movie because you're on a 30-second commercial and you're there 12 hours.
Bro, for you people, I was there for a week. I think I did like one day of acting, and I just sat in a trailer for the rest of the week. And it's just like, oh, yeah, I got other shit I could do here. You know what I mean? I'm not like an actor. I get that they don't do anything. They sit around all day. But like, we got shit to do. But I would like to make a movie. I'd like to make a movie. Yeah, because I think that like writing it is fun. And then also when you write it and you create it, watching the other people do their lines is really exciting. Right. Because you're watching this shit come to life.
Right.
So to me, like storytelling is just, it's the earliest form of digesting information. It's like you come into a room and you go, yo, I got a story. The whole room stops talking.
Right.
Like, it's really amazing how humans are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I imagine even in the locker room, I imagine the person that could hold court was the person that could really command that attention.
Yes.
Tell those stories.
Mm-hmm.
And, to me, I would love to, I think doing a film is the most profound version of that.
Right. Is it true Jonah Hill and Laura London had a fake CGI kid?
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't they do the real thing?
CJ looking through the headlines.
Why didn't they do the real thing?
I don't know. But I was watching it with Dub. It was so funny. I was watching it with Dub. We were watching it at his house. And I looked at the last scene and I was like, oh, because I remember this became some big story. Mm-hmm. And like the network got upset at me. And I was like, what are you upset at me for? This is an international news story.
Right.
You should pay me.
Right.
I just promoted the out of the movie.
And plus people are going to watch to see if
just to see the kids. And it's not like they got to go to the movie theater. They just got to turn on Netflix. Right. So, I was like, you should be very grateful. That's what I thought. But yeah, whatever. She got her reasons. I don't know why everybody was so upset about it. It's like, yo, if a girl doesn't want to do a kiss, like, why can't she do a kiss? Why are people so upset about that? Like, shouldn't you be like pro women feeling comfortable? Right. That's what I was. Yeah. Like, I'm pro women feeling comfortable. Right. And then all these people are like, they better kiss. It's like, why don't you relax? Yeah, it's not just let her do what she wants. Yeah. Some of us care about black women. Yeah, we do. Some of us do. We in the movie. Some of us do. You won't get in an elevator with them. No, I won't get in an elevator with any single woman, regardless of race. Regardless of race. Is there anything that you wouldn't do in a movie? You do a sex scene? Would I do a sex scene? My wife doesn't want me to, but yeah, I'd be up in that. No. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to get my cheeks clapped. Actually, I did do a gay scene in a movie. You did? But I wasn't in it. It wasn't in Were you in a dress? No. Would you wear a dress? Yeah, I don't know why like that's a big deal with the dress shit. That's so stupid. Like
No, it's only a big deal.
only with black dudes, and it's like it's so dumb that you have that different standard.
Yeah.
It's like the idea of like somebody in
Robin
a dress.
Williams wore a dress. Dustin Hoffman, I think.
Every guy wears a
Which
fucking
one
dress.
did Tootsie?
Arnold Schwarzenegger wears a
No,
dress.
no, yeah.
Do you know what it really is? This is what it comes down to.
What it comes down.
It's seeing someone hyper masculine wear a dress
Right.
is funny.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about like the racism of it, the racism is people perceive black men as being hyper masculine.
Correct.
I don't know if that's like an insult. Maybe you find that as something that you're proud of. But the perception is
Yes.
hyper masculine.
Yes.
So seeing someone who's hyper masculine in a dress is funny. Arnold Schwarzenegger is hyper masculine.
Yes.
So in a dress, he's funny.
Right.
I don't need to see Jonah Hill and his tits in a dress. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not that funny.
Right.
Right? So it's like, to me, that's the takeaway.
Okay.
So, but then I guess, you know, I don't know who said it, but they're like, oh, they're trying to emasculate all these black men. It's like, I don't think Hollywood has this like grand design.
Right.
How can we emasculate all black guys? Like, I just think that it's like a low hanging fruit. It's like the easiest version of a joke, and it's just lazy. It's just lazy writing, frankly.
I read that you went to Shreveport to check out 50 Cent G Unit.
50 Cent's the GOAT, bro. If 50 asks me, I'm pulling up.
Really?
I love 50. Yeah, 50's the GOAT. If 50 doesn't with you, I don't with you. But I just don't know why yet. But he's never wrong. If he doesn't like you,
Right.
there's a reason.
Really?
And in my suspicion, he knows the reason, but he doesn't snitch.
Right.
So he just doesn't tell.
Right.
But he'll say he doesn't with you. Like he's been saying the Diddy forever.
Really?
And all of us were like, oh, you just hating. I was like, So if 50 doesn't like you, I don't.
You ain't go to the party? You ain't never been to one of them Diddy parties?
No, I wasn't cool enough, bro. You went?
Bro, I just got on like a year and a half ago, bro. No.
That's what everybody says, right?
I did.
I'm supposed to act like you're not a 3-time Super Bowl champion going to Diddy parties.
They
left and right.
ain't got invited nowhere.
Yeah, all right. You probably would have went to Epstein's Island.
Nah.
Shannon. What if they said it was a Lululemon outlet and everything was 50% off? What if they said there's half off Lulu's at the Epstein's Island?
I go right up here in Beverly Hills and go to Lulu.
You think? But I think that you would have gone. You would have flown private. For that. No?
Nah.
Not for any of the girls.
I'm not a party guy.
You're not a party guy.
No.
What if they had the best oatmeal? What if every morning it was the best oatmeal you've ever had? in your
Nah, I'm
life?
good. I ain't
You
gonna
never
lie
went to one freak out?
Not one.
Nothing?
Nah.
Or freak Nick? What is it? What is it?
Oh,
called?
Freak Nick. I was at Freak Nick. Now, hold on. That's a whole different story.
Freak Nick is 10 times crazier
Freak
than
Nick is a whole different story now.
That's 10 times crazier than a Diddy party.
That's a whole different
Tell me
animal.
about the Freak Nick, man.
Yeah, Freak Nick would like that.
Was it crazy or what?
Ooh, was it crazy?
And what? Yeah. Can you explain what that is? It even legal to explain?
Well, they did away with it. It had gotten so big. It had gotten so out of control.
So this is happening in Florida.
This is Atlanta.
Oh, is Atlanta?
Yeah.
Where am I thinking? Where the Uncle Luke?
Oh, that was Daytona. That was Black College Beach Week. But Uncle Luke came to Freak Nick too. Uncle Luke, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happens? It's just
shut it down. They got it got too big. It got too crazy. They were just like, you ended up, businesses had to shut because people were not, they didn't know how to behave, because it was cool when it was just college students.
And then it became
because grown people started, and guys just started getting disrespectful with the women, and the traffic was gridlocked, and people started complaining, and they just like...
Bro, you know what's funny? The same thing happened to White Freak Nick, which is spring break.
Yeah.
And
where was that? Where'd y'all have
They was doing it in Cancun, and they were doing it in a bunch of places.
Oh, yeah, the MTV, yeah.
The MTV. And I remember I was working for MTV back in the day. I hosted like the last ever spring break, and I knew it was over because the sponsors were like Kmart. And like I was like, yeah, that's not a sexy sponsor. You know what I mean? And but I remember seeing the people in the crowd, and this is supposed to be like a college thing.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing like 35-year-old British guys. I was like, yeah, this is a little weird. So that's really what it is. It's just the old people started showing up.
Yeah.
You got to find old people parties.
Yeah, and they started showing up and amping it up, and it was...
You got to go to Burning Man, bro.
Huh?
I got to take you to Burning Man.
What is that at?
You never heard of Burning Man?
I haven't.
Oh, man. It's this amazing party event. I don't even know what to call it, but we just got to go out to the desert. Go out to the desert.
Where's it at?
In, where's exactly? Black Rock City. Is that Nevada?
Yeah, Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada. Black Rock City, Nevada.
Oh.
And then you just basically drive your little Winnebago out there. We hang out for the week, do,
You
party.
still do it?
I've gone a few times. I might go back this year. I got to talk to the wife, We got to negotiate these
Is
things.
it like, so I guess it's for older people.
Diddy used to go there a lot, actually.
No, I'm good.
No, but it's not his thing, but he did go there. We try to distance ourselves from that, but I didn't go to any Diddy parties at Burning Man.
I'm not a crowd guy.
Oh, really? But you're such a performer. You've got such a...
Yeah.
You're good with attention.
And when people ask me, this is how I describe myself. I'm the most outgoing introvert you're going to meet.
Interesting.
I'm exhausted at the end of the day.
It's a real effort for you to do it. Got it.
I go home, I don't really talk. I had a girlfriend, and her friend's like, man, he got to be so much fun. I mean, you see him on television, and she was like, he's nothing like that at home.
Really? So you're quiet, you're in your head.
Yep.
Are you like plotting and thinking? Are you like...
I am thinking. I'm thinking, how do we grow this? How do I make this better? How do I get better at this? How do I get better at my job at ESPN? How do I get better at Club Shay Shay? How do I get better at Nightcap? How can we scale Shay Shay Media? What do we need? Yeah.
Constantly competing.
Yeah. But
better get-
I'm my competition.
Say again?
I'm my competition, though.
There's nobody else?
I
What about
will.
Ocho?
Ocho's my partner.
So you brought in your biggest competition as your partner. That was genius.
No, I just thought I thought Ocho would be great
He's phenomenal.
because he gets the entertainment aspect of it and he doesn't take himself serious.
That's the thing. He's able to laugh at himself. That is an incredibly endearing quality.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I think that's, and it's very rare. Like
Very.
you can make fun of him and
Yeah.
he'll laugh, but
Yeah.
he'll also hit you as
Oh, yeah.
I don't want him and Cam to beef anymore. Can we stop that?
I don't know what that's about. I don't know anything about that. I didn't know Cam,
Shout
like
out Cam and Mace. What they've made.
Yeah,
is
they do it. They
incredible.
do what they do. But what I'm not in competition with them.
Yeah.
We do. Like I said, they print 80% of the money in the last 5 years. They'll print more. We don't have to be in competition.
Yeah.
If we get something, that doesn't mean you lost. If you get something, that don't mean we lost. That's the way I look at it. Now everybody doesn't look at it that way. Everybody wants us to be in competition. I'm not in competition with them guys. Ocho and I are not in competition. We believe it is what it is. The pivot, all the smoke, or whomever, 4th and 1 cams, bro. Y'all do what y'all do. We do what we do.
And then continue to do each other's stuff
Yes,
and build each other up.
for sure.
This is what Rogan did so brilliantly.
Yes.
It's like all the guys populated each other's podcasts and then everybody rose up.
What did you learn about work when you was working at MTV? What did you learn?
That you gotta, I learned a lot of things. I learned like how to kind of behave on set. I learned like, how to interact with other people in the business, like what they're looking for.
Right.
Who are the real ones? Who are
Right.
the fake ones? Like I met some real friends there. I met Charlamagne there. I met Lil Duval
Yeah.
there, like mentors.
Right.
Like, Duval is like this huge mentor for me. Everything that I've done in stand-up
Yeah.
is based on something that Lil Duval's already done. I don't think Duval gets enough credit for the influence he's had on comedy and internet culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are copying things he's done without even knowing that he was the first one to do it.
Yeah, he did that 10, 15 years at the beginning.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
He's also like a literal, like if you sit with him and you just around him,
Yeah.
you're feeling something. Yeah, it's just weird. It's like wise beyond his ears. It's a very interesting sensation when you're around him. He's a fascinating guy, and he's like one of the few mentors that I've had in comedy and just entertainment.
How did you and Charlamagne decide to get together and do a pod?
Man, he asked me. He was like, "Yo, you want to do?" Because we would just talk all the time. Like during the week, things would
I would
happen.
ask you.
Yeah, it's
Too late
fun.
now. Nope.
Yeah, you got me. You gotta fight him. No, but he would just talk throughout the week. We're just on the phone and like just talking and just making jokes about whatever. And he has this great line where we've been saying on the pod, like when anybody brings up a topic, we just go, I just want to let you all know we're not mature enough to have this conversation.
Right.
So no matter what it is, we're not mature enough. So if you choose to listen, that's on you because we told you we're not mature enough. But and then he was like, yo, you should do this pod. And then Chris Moreau is the guy who produced the pod. He was pitching it to him. And then we just started it and like, he's the greatest radio personality of my lifetime.
Right.
So it's like him talking on a mic, he's mastered it. And I learned so much just from him in general. He's also a genius.
Right.
Like true marketing genius.
He gets it. He definitely gets it.
Genius. So yeah, just getting to do that every single week. And then just the show's been going on for 10 years. people are like, different people are just finding out about it now.
Right.
And like we've been doing this for 10 years.
Wow.
It's so funny because like when white people will talk to him about the show sometimes, they'll be like, yo, I see you doing that. I see you on Andrew Schulz's show. And then black people will talk to me about it. They'll be like, yo, I saw you on Charlamagne's show. And we're just like, yeah, it's fine, dude. like, we don't need to explain this. Right. But yeah, it's just awesome. He's just, he's pure entertainment.
How do you think podcasts have helped you?
I think what it did is allowed me to create authentically. Okay. So like before that, well, not even before that, but like I don't want to make my only money to provide for my family with my art.
Right.
Because then you're compromised. It's like you need to go out there and do shows.
Right.
So now I'm rushing jokes.
Right.
I'm rushing the next tour. I'm doing whatever. And podcasting has allowed me to maintain my life and then make sure that the art is 100% authentic in terms of what I want to create. Mm-hmm. And I'm like the most grateful for that. It's also great for like building an audience and an understanding of who you are. And like, despite people misunderstanding you on the internet or believing like these headlines,
one way.
You got, hundreds of thousands of people that really know who you are and they're there to ride for you when shit goes south.
Luigi Mangione has received $500,000 in donations. How is this possible, man?
Well, you want to know.
Yeah, I want to know.
The way that Americans react to these events will tell you everything about how they feel towards these institutions. Mm-hmm. Americans are hurting, bro. Yeah. They're upset. They feel disillusioned. Like they don't trust the government. They don't trust the medical industry. They don't trust the pharmaceutical industry. They don't trust the food. They don't trust the wars that we're in. Like, so when one of these guys that's at the head of a healthcare company gets clipped in brutal, disgusting fashion, like we shouldn't be like laughing about it.
Right.
We're already so hurt. We're already so destitute that we're like, f that guy.
Yeah. People are like, oh, he deserved it. Charging all those high ass prices for all that medicine.
For real. Like
that's how they think.
But if I'm the companies or if I'm the billionaire class, I'm these super rich people, I'm looking at that and I'm going, okay, we're pushing them too much. In other words, like I imagine, I don't know, I don't got that kind of money, but I imagine like the people who got all the money,
yes,
the billionaires, they don't want poor people to be too poor because then we show up at your door with the guns and we start shooting you.
Yeah.
You need poor people to be have just enough where they don't want to rebel and revolt. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
The poor got to be a little rich.
You got to have a little something.
They got to have a little something.
Because they don't have enough, they'll come get it from somewhere.
Because if I'm dying anyway, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
So if you're the super rich, you have to look at a moment like that and you got to go, we got to get these poor people some money. Mm-hmm. Because if they don't have money, they're knocking on my door. Mm-hmm. So if I'm Jeff Bezos, if I'm Elon, if I'm Zuckerberg, if I'm all these guys, whatever that billionaire class is, yep. I'm going, hey, how can we get Americans some money? Because they are not happy. And they're supporting a guy who just clipped a dude who's not even he's not even a billionaire.
Right.
That's the shit that I'm looking at.
How did growing up in New York shape you with the diversity because like you said, New York has everything.
Yeah.
And they're right there.
Greatest city.
So you had to it wasn't like me, I mean, like I went to school with whites, but we was here, they were there. How did that shape what we see, the Andrew Schulz that we see sitting here today?
It showed me how awesome people are. People are awesome, and their cultures are awesome. And I got firsthand knowledge of it. I got to go see what a bar mitzvah is.
Okay.
And a bat mitzvah is. Yeah. I got to see these Jewish kids turn into men and women, and they're holding the chairs and jumping up. And I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. I would want that for a birthday party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got to try foods you wouldn't imagine. And I got to see the way that my Dominican friend's mom was just so doting and loving on her children and how protective and kind. And I got to see the most amazing things about all these different cultures. And I think that's where my curiosity stemmed from. I got to see how hard these Chinese people would work, man. Like these kids that I would go to school with, they're going to school 7 days a week. You know what I mean? It's not shocking they're getting 1,600 on their SATs. They're working their ass off.
Right.
And I got to see all that firsthand. And it was beautiful. And I think that's where my curiosity and my kind of love for all these different cultures comes from, is I got to experience the best of it. And also every one of us was kind of first generation American. You know, like my dad's from America, but like my mom's not. So we're all got this like immigrant kid mentality. There's like this hunger. There's this excitement. We don't have this like a lack of hope, which unfortunately I think a lot of people in America have right now. It's like we were just dropped on America and we're in New York and it's time to get after it.
Right.
So when we saw somebody with something, it didn't make us feel bad.
Right.
It made us inspired. We're like, oh, I'm gonna get that shit too.
Right.
We were hustling from young kids. I was making fake DVDs and fake CDs. I'm trying to sell them to the kids in the school. Like I was doing anything I could to get some money.
Right.
And I think that also came from all my friends around me also trying to hustle.
Right.
It was exciting. Like it was just, yeah, my upbringing was wild.
Right.
Like I saw a lot of shit, maybe at a younger age than most, but it's the greatest city in the world. It's the greatest city in the world.
When you look at America, America was built not by natives. It was built by the slaves. It was built by the immigrants from Europe. Why do you think the immigrants are treated so poorly today?
Well, by whom?
Us as Americans, I mean, not me.
I don't treat them poorly.
Because I think the thing is, for me, I mean, they're doing jobs that I ain't trying to do those jobs no more.
Yeah.
I did them. I
we all
worked
did 'em.
construction and I
Yeah.
worked in manual labor jobs.
Yeah.
And a lot of the jobs that the immigrants, and I think the way they phrase it is
Yeah.
that they're coming stealing your jobs. They ain't stealing no jobs that we want to do.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's, I mean, actually, I don't even know if that's right because I don't know if there's an American out there who's like, I would love to do that job.
Yeah.
Maybe there are. Maybe there's plenty that don't. But I mean, when I went and when interviewed Trump, there are three things I want to talk about.
Right.
There's three things. Like, and we had the opportunity to interview someone who might be president, and some people are critical of even doing the interview. But the way I look at that is like, if you don't have the opportunity, you can't really say what you would or wouldn't do. There's a lot of people.
That's president. That guy that could be the president of the United States. You absolutely take it.
Right, especially if you care about your country.
Right.
Right. And who knows if I have any influence over Trump? I don't think I do. But
Right.
there's three things I want to talk about. Number one, I wanted him to say that he was going to protect IVF. That's how my wife and I had to have a kid. We weren't
Right.
able to conceive naturally.
Okay.
And two, I wanted to end foreign wars. And three, I wanted some compassion for illegal immigrants that are obeying the law. They're hardworking.
Yeah.
If you break the law, you're doing crimes, send them the f out. You got unanimous support in America for that.
Right.
I don't think there's any Americans like, well, let's keep all the murderers that are illegal.
Yeah.
Like, get them out here. But if you have somebody that's working their ass off, they have a family here, a pathway to citizenship, I
Paying
think
taxes.
is, also you have to understand, like my mom's an immigrant. Like
Right.
it's impossible for me to not
Right.
think that immigrants are
Right.
what make America
Right.
great. So they make the best Americans. Every American that cries about how American is, right? None of them immigrated here.
Right.
When you immigrate to America, you think that this is the great. My mom can't say a bad word about America.
Right.
I'm telling you that you need that energy. That energy is infectious. That desire. It's what I grew up around. I grew up around all these people who are like,
Right.
holy shit, I got an opportunity to make it and I'm going after it. And yeah, I hope that this administration will look at that. It doesn't look like they're doing it, but I hope that they'll look at that and I hope we find a pathway to legalization for them.
I mean, but the thing is that his wife is an immigrant. Elon Musk is an immigrant.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like to me, a lot of times, Schulz, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of times people achieve something and once they get it, let's shut the door, don't let anybody else get it.
Yeah.
Because you look at Marco Rubio, you look at a lot of people, their parents immigrated here. Now, no, we don't want nobody else to get it.
They would maybe argue that they did it legally or these things happen. But no, like they did. Like his wife, I guess, did it legally and Elon did it legally. And I understand that there is a distinction. Like my mom was able to do it, she was able to do it legally, right? But it doesn't stop the fact that like there are people here that are hardworking.
Yes.
They're benefiting the American economy and American lifestyle. And they are a net positive for us.
Yeah, they pay taxes.
Exactly. So why don't we just, in my opinion, I think that the barter or whatever, the bargain is lock up that border. You have the right to have a strong border as a country.
Sure.
There's at least some people who are like against having a strong border, which is just like weird. Like the only thing that makes you a country is...
I think you and I agree, but the drugs are coming in at points of entry. They're not coming across the border.
I imagine there's multiple ways that they get it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's just one, but I think there's probably multiple. But my point is like, you have the right to block the border. If you have a good, effective way to block the border, block that
Let's
shit.
do it.
Let's do it. But the people who are already here and are productive, give them a pathway to citizenship. If you are breaking the law, See you later. You don't get to come here and negatively impact Americans' lives.
Well, if you break the law in America, you go to jail. So if they do their time in jail, and then once they're up, you send them back to wherever they came from.
No, you're not going to do your time here. You're going to do your time over there.
No, they're gonna let them out, and then they're gonna come right back.
That's on them.
No.
Now we got the wall.
No.
You know what I mean?
How'd you meet your wife?
How'd I beat her?
How did you meet her?
Oh, Jesus Christ. How'd I beat her? I was like, how'd you find out? No.
How'd you meet her?
How'd I meet her? We actually met on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, in the DM.
You slid?
Now she slid.
No way.
Yeah. We actually saw each other, I guess, on a dating app. And then she had messaged me.
You be on the dating apps?
I was on a dating app. Yeah.
You Andrew Schulz. Why are you on a dating app?
I mean, I guess it's easier. I don't know, You have to find efficiencies in life,
But you know what they said? That 75% of the men haven't asked a woman out in person.
Yeah.
It's on Instagram. It's on dating apps.
Yeah.
Now, don't you miss the old-fashioned way? Like,
I do. I think that it's like important to build character. Yeah, but you have to understand, when, the golden ticket drops in your lap, you're not going to say no.
Yeah, true.
True. So when we went on a date and it was awesome.
You knew it at first sight? Did you know your first meeting?
Second date, I was like, yeah, we're going to get married probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
You must have been real hard up.
Yeah, I was hard up.
Damn. Second date, talk about marriage?
Second date, I mean.
I'll at least get a year in.
No. I mean, it took us a while to get married, but I think I knew. I was like, yeah, there's just something different about her. There's something special about her. And also, she made me wait, too. She wouldn't sleep with me at all.
What?
All that discipline. I like that discipline, though. I think that's something that women need. It's not about, like, not having sex with a guy. Like, it's having sex with a guy when you want to. We're going to try.
Yeah.
But there's something, like, really awesome about knowing that we're trying.
Yeah.
And then they're like, this ain't going to happen. Because now I know when you're out there in the world and some other guy tries,
Right.
you could thwart that advance as well.
It might be you might have been the only one that. What have you learned about marriage?
CJ, was that one of the questions? CJ, are you writing these segments? CJ, fire CJ immediately.
What have you learned about marriage?
CJ's a white guy. I just want to let you know. The whole team is white guys. This is a facade. This is a lie.
What have you learned about marriage? What's the number one thing that you learned about marriage?
Oh, man. You know what I learned is that, like, everything that makes you good at comedy makes you bad at relationships.
You joke with your wife?
Oh, all the time. She has a great sense of humor. But, like, I remember we were talking to a therapist, right? And it was like, and my wife was like, and there was like, Emma was like, my wife's name is Emma, and she was like, the therapist was like, hey, you don't have to explain yourself. If she says that something bothered her, you can just acknowledge her feelings.
Right.
And I'm like, but why? But what if, she's like, listen, it's not helpful to, like, explain, create justifications, or give examples for things when it comes to an argument. And I'm like, sir, I've dedicated the last 17 years of my life to giving examples, metaphors, and justifying everything that I possibly can.
Right.
You're telling me I got to stop that when I'm communicating with my wife?
Right.
And he's like, absolutely. And it was a really good, helpful thing to learn. A lot of times when people complain, they don't want you to talk them out of their feelings.
Right.
They just want their feelings acknowledged. Well, here I am trying to help you with your feelings.
So you went to therapy? You go to therapy?
Yeah. I think it's really helpful.
Yeah, you know what my therapist told me?
What do you say?
She asked me
You go to a female therapist?
I went to a female. She asked me a simple question.
No, I'm just joking. I was just like,
She said, Shannon.
What'd she say?
Are you arguing for right or are you arguing to be right?
Ooh. What'd you answer?
You already know. I'm
trying to be right.
Right.
Yeah. But
she said, Shannon, look. And she said, Shannon, you're communicating. She said, you're going to have to communicate in a language that she understands.
Yes.
She said, right now, you're speaking Mandarin and she's speaking Spanish.
Yes.
So either she learns Mandarin or you learn Spanish so you guys can communicate, or it's not going to work.
And she's not going to learn Mandarin. I'm just going to let you know. They're not going to learn Mandarin. They know what they know.
Okay.
And they just the feelings need to be acknowledged. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
But we feel, at least I don't know, I feel it's like, if I do something and it bothers you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But it's not my intention to hurt you.
Right.
Right? And I apologize for it.
Right.
My fear is that you will think that was my intention.
Right.
My fear is that you're going to go, you're going to think that I wanted to hurt you by saying that. So here I am trying to explain it away. I'm like, no, what I really meant was da-da-da, and they don't need that.
Right.
They just need you to go, oh man, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. And the second you say that, they go, oh, thank you so much for acknowledging that feeling. It's done after that. It's kind of crazy. Here we are trying to like talk them out of their feelings. It's a waste of time.
Dad, you mentioned your daughter.
He not even listening.
I heard
you see that?
No, because let me ask you, but here's the thing though.
I'm trying to help him.
No,
I'm trying to help him, guys.
but here's
I'm
the
trying
thing.
to help him.
You keep using the word intent.
Yes.
Intent only matters to you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
They don't care about your intent.
No, because
hurt
they're
them.
Yes.
Stop trying to tell yo, this guy is diabolical. Don't explain to me what I just explained to you.
No.
That was insane.
No, but
Your girl got no chance.
Here's the thing.
Your girl got, sweetheart, you got no chance.
Manslaughter.
He's gaslighting me.
Manslaughter and murder.
Yes, manslaughter and murder.
What's the difference?
Manslaughter sounds more sexual.
It's intent.
Oh, yeah.
Intent.
You never had a girl give you some manslaughter?
No. Intent only matters to the defendant.
Yes, you're right. Yes.
The victim is just as dead.
Is dead. You're 100%.
So you said, well, that wasn't my intent.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
She's still equally as hurt.
She's over there hurt.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yeah,
now you explain it back to me.
You know, I understood. I went to therapy. I went to therapy before you, so I totally understand. Your daughter.
Therapy is great.
It is.
Like, I listen, it's difficult to do it, but I think that there's this like stigma on it, unfortunately, but you should. You do everything. You go to rehab for your shoulder if it's messed up, right?
Yeah.
You take care of your body. You go to visit doctors for every other thing. You have to nurture.
Right.
You have to nurture. Like, I would tell people before they even get married, go to a therapist. Like, when you know you're going to get married, go to a therapist and have them talk you through some of the changes that are going to start to happen. Like, people have this big ego about not wanting to do it. They're like embarrassed or whatever like that. It's like, you should be embarrassed about not caring enough about your relationship to make it the best that it can be, especially if you got a kid.
Yeah.
Like, that's the motivation for everything.
Yes.
You don't want your kid to see you arguing or bickering and that kind of stuff like that. Like, get out of your ego. Get out of your own way.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think the biggest thing is, and they was telling me, say, if you ever get married, you do understand the person you married today is not going to be the person you married tomorrow. So they change. People change. People evolve. And I used to think it was funny when people like, well, we just grew apart.
Yeah.
They did. Because one person evolved and the other didn't.
Yeah.
They think that's the person that they married 10 years ago or 15 years ago was the same person. They're not.
That's why you got to check in.
Yeah.
You got to check in.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just ignore that evolution. But sometimes that evolution just makes things better.
Yeah.
It makes things closer. Relationships are
The
beautiful.
only constant is change.
Yes. So you have to embrace that change.
Yes. Girl dad.
Yeah.
You said that if the kid turns out bad, they blame the parents.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do. If they turn out good, they had great parents. If the kid turns out bad, they had the parents.
No, if the girl's bad, it's dad's fault only.
Yeah. Where was dad at?
That's it, right?
Yeah.
It's always our fault if it's a girl. If the boy shoots up a school, they don't go, oh, was it dad's fault or something like that? But if the girl's a whore, it's always dad's fault. It is the case, right? It's always, no matter, you could be the best dad ever, but if your girl's a whore, no, I'm not saying your girl, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's 100% your fault. You got a daughter, right?
Yeah, two.
Two daughters. How was that? Imagine being
my oldest daughter's in HR. My youngest daughter just passed the residency, so she's about to be a doctor.
Wow. What kind of doctor?
Anesthesiology.
Whoa, people die in that one.
Yeah. I think that
scary.
For me is that the way I was raised, and it was different because my oldest lived with me her last 2 years of high school. And so she's at that age, dating, hormones, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
what was that like? Would you meet her boyfriends? What do they say when they see you?
Man, I was, it was a situation, bro, it was tough because they want to do what they want to do, and they don't understand at the point in time that, 18 is going to be 22, 22 is going to be 25, 25 is going to be 30, hopefully. And so you try to impart wisdom and knowledge and understanding, but they look at it as instant gratification. They want what they want. They want tattoos. They want to be able to go out, come in whenever they want to. And that was just never going to ever fly in my place. I'm your parent. I'm not going to be your friend.
Your way or the highway.
I'm not going to try to be your friend. I'm always gonna be. And I told all my kids this: our dynamic won't ever change. I'm always gonna be the parent. You're always gonna be the child.
And do you think your kids know that you love them?
Oh yeah,
Good.
they do. They do because they see what I did, and they have see maybe not then, but now as adults now, and they see how.
Wait till they have kids?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait till I think once you have kids, you have a completely different understanding of the decisions your parents made.
Right. You mentioned earlier IVF.
Yeah.
And that's that's I'm sure that's very painful for a woman to have to
go through that?
Yeah, because that's a lot of shots, bro.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough for us too because we got to deal with them on the shots.
And hormones are going crazy.
Yeah, no. Yeah. It's tough for them. It's a tough process for sure. But I think what's more tough is not being able to get pregnant. So I think that's what you're looking at. It's actually more painful not being able to get pregnant. So you look
think
at
she
that.
feels less than a woman because she's not able to conceive?
Well, it was my fault, not hers.
It's yours?
Yeah.
Oh man, you firing blanks, huh?
Yeah. They just don't swim. They're black. No.
Nah. See, there you go. There you go. I knew it. I knew that was coming.
Stereotypes. All white crew laughing at that joke. I just want to let you know. No people of color here laughing. Anyway.
No, but
No.
So when you found that out, that it was...
Bro, I thought it was her too. We're trying, you know what I mean? It's not working. I'm like, oh, damn. Like, I felt bad for her. Like, I actually prayed the night before we got the results.
Right.
I prayed that it was my fault. And then we got the results, and God was like, bet.
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna hold you to that.
I hear all your prayers.
You want this blame? I got you.
So then I did that, and then just having to deal with that is like, you also look back at your whole life, and you're like, I wasted so many condoms, so much Plan B, like so much stress of getting a girl
And you couldn't
pregnant.
get nobody pregnant anyway.
Anyway, Plan B sitting in her stomach, looking around like Will Smith in the last episode of Fresh Prince. He's just kind of staring at the living room like, what am I doing here? Yeah.
So how you have one, right? You have a daughter.
Yes, we have a daughter. Yeah. So basically, my sperm just didn't swim that well. Right. So it's possible maybe if we kept at it for months.
Why don't you just do it? What you call it?
IUI.
Yeah.
We did that. It didn't work. So we tried IUI, which is where they basically like take your sperm, they shoot it in there.
Yeah.
And then we tried IVF afterwards, and we were able to get pregnant through IVF.
Are you trying that again now?
So we have the embryos frozen. So you have all these things. So like if we want to have another one, we're in conversations that we'd love to expand the family.
Well, why don't you just start it out and just let a surrogate?
Nah, because I think that the women like going through that part of the process. I think my wife liked being pregnant.
But you just practicing.
What, me now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm shooting it up now. It's crazy.
Oh, you shooting the club up?
Oh, I'm shooting the club up, man. This club is destroyed. But that's the thing. You never know. Maybe it starts to happen. That'd be cool too. But either way.
Do you wish you would have got started earlier? Because you're older, you're 40 and 40s. I mean, you wish you had got started maybe late 20s, 30s?
The first thought I had when I saw my daughter is I wish that I did this 20 years ago so I could have more time with you.
Right. So she could actually see. I mean, you're probably still going to be doing this when she's older to understand what her dad's doing.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that I really appreciate, that my kids got an opportunity to see their dad do his first career.
But also, I just want to be like around them for longer.
Right.
Like within 10 seconds, I was like, I just want to spend as much time with you as I possibly can.
Right.
So I think there's part of me that did that, but then I wouldn't be with my wife, and my wife is the person I'm supposed to be with.
Right.
So I'm glad it worked out this way. Mm-hmm. I think I'm mature enough and ready to do it. But yeah, man, it was tricky. Right. But you also got to take ego out of it. Like there was part of me that was like, all right, I want to get her pregnant naturally. And then every month when she'd look at the pregnancy test and it wasn't there, she'd cry. And I'm like, how much? I was talking to the IVF doctor, and he was like, you got to look at this. He's like, if you have the money and it's not a concern, you got to look at how much stress on your relationship this is going to cost. You might get pregnant. Like you could keep trying for a year. You could keep trying for 2 years. You never know. It could happen. It takes one.
Right.
So, but what is the stress on your wife and your relationship?
Right.
And after that, I was like, all right, let's go. Let's do this IVF. And it was amazing.
Did you have to change the eating habits? Did you eat differently? Did you exercise?
Before we did IVF, I was talking to doctors, like, is there anything I could do to like make my sperm better, right? Because they said I wasn't swimming that much. And they're like, yes, you got to ice your balls every day. So I was icing my balls every day. They're like, you got to not wear tight underwear. So I was wearing loose underwear. They're like, you got to stop drinking. You got to stop smoking. So I was clean. I was icing my balls every single day. I was taking these pills. I was taking like 4 pills a day. I was doing everything I possibly could do. I went and got tested again. My sperm got worse.
Damn.
Yeah. Allen Iverson. It was like practice. We talking about practice? Yeah.
So now you just like,
so I was like, all right, let's do this shit.
I'm just go back to.
I'm doing everything I can, bro. You in there, you jerking off into these cups, man. And it's just humbling, bro.
Right.
But the crazy thing about it was like, after talking about it, when you're doing it, you think you're the only person that's ever struggled to get pregnant, by the way. It's so isolating.
No, it's a lot of people dealing with that.
But I didn't know that. So I started talking about it on stage, and people would start coming up to me, and they're like, oh, yo, that was really cool to see that. You know, I never seen anybody talk about that. I went through that. And then one of the most beautiful things about it was like on the tour, there'd be all these people that came out to the tour. I never told them that this is what the show was about.
Right.
Like I've never been personal. I never told stories really. And then after, I'd get all these DMs, even to this day, of people who are like, yo, I saw the show, we tried IVF, we ended up getting pregnant, like, or they were going through that process during that time, and then they'll message me months later and they have a baby. And
wow.
Yeah, it was this thing I didn't expect out of the tour of the show, but it was so rewarding. You know, like you realize that there are levels of importance to things, and nothing is more important than your family and that baby that you make.
Right.
And getting to see people witness that and experience that even in the show. You know, like life doesn't always work out. Sometimes
the way you
does.
want it.
Exactly. And that's right. Sometimes you don't get what you want, but you get what you need. And I think that's what happened to us. Like we might have wanted it to happen one way, but the thing we got was the most perfect thing. I couldn't imagine doing it another way.
Right.
So it was cool.
You mentioned your dad is suffering earlier from short-term memory. How's that been on your mom?
Oh, hard, because she got to take care of him. And, you know, it's a full-time job to do that. And you're also like losing this person that you love. But I tell you, like, when you start to lose your memory, you're left with like who you truly are. And I think the last memory my dad will have is how amazing my mom is. It's amazing to hear him talk about how like infatuated with her he still is. And it's really, I was concerned, you know, my dad's old. I'm like, is he gonna like say some racist shit? Like, you know what I mean? You don't know. But his heart is pure. He's like this beautiful soul.
Right.
And like my mom had to take his debit card because he was just giving people money for no reason and forgetting. So he was giving the guy at the fruit stand like money and then forgetting he gave him and then going back to the bank taking out more money. Like he's a beautiful soul. So yeah, he's handling it all right. Yeah.
How's your Knicks? What your Knicks gonna do this year? They gonna get past Boston, get past the Cavs?
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm a delusional New York fan, so I'm saying, you know, Knicks are gonna win a championship every single year.
Well, we know your Giants and Jets ain't winning nothing.
Yeah, I think the Jets got it next year and the Giants too.
Got what?
I think they're gonna win the Super Bowl together.
Oh. Well, if they combine the teams, they might.
Yeah, they combine. Yeah, what is happening with New York sports, man? When I was growing up, the Yankees were winning everything.
Yep.
Giants got a couple, Knicks were in the playoffs at least cooking.
Yeah.
What's going on? What do you think it is?
Well, I mean, in football, it's all about the quarterback.
Yeah.
You see that. Look at the teams that made the playoffs this year.
So you think Aaron don't have it anymore?
He has it, but he can't dial it up like he once could every single. You remember when he was in Green Bay?
He was sensational.
Yeah.
There were moments where I would watch him in Green Bay and I was like, I think this is the best person that's ever played quarterback. I know that's a crazy take because Tom Brady exists, but there were moments where I was like, that is the best guy I've ever seen play quarterback.
As you get older, you just can't do it with the frequency and the regularity that you did when you were younger. And the problem is that if you're a great player, as you get older, they don't compare you to other great players. They compare you to your younger self. So that's what we're comparing him to, those 4 MVPs that he won in Green Bay.
Yes.
Not to today's quarterbacks.
Yeah. And he is comparable to today's quarterbacks.
Yeah. But he's not what we remember.
This is the burden of greatness.
Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
how do you write a set? Do you write sets or because Marlon Wayans says he don't write anything down; he just goes. Katt says he write. Quake. A lot of guys say they write. Do you write or did you just go on stage and just go?
I go on stage with like ideas or feelings. I don't really have like a punchline for it yet,
Right.
but there are things I want to talk about, and then I listen back to it. And then I can like write down little ideas from it. And then that's where the set will kind of build. And then you refine it.
Yeah.
It's like gets fat and then you whittle away at it. It's like building a sword. You ever see somebody make a sword where you just kind of have that hunk of steel and then you hammer it and it gets sharper and smaller and sharper and smaller and eventually it's there.
Right.
That's the idea.
How long did it take you to write that?
Depends. Some jokes could take, there are jokes that I didn't have done until the night 2 of my special taping.
Wow.
And then there's jokes that come together in like a month, and you're like, holy.
Right.
So it just depends, yeah.
Thanks for stopping by. Is there anything you want to promote? You got your Netflix?
I just want people to go check out the Shay Cognac, man.
I'm gonna give you that's your bottle.
Thank you so much. I want you guys to check this out, man. This is crazy right here. I love this. It's significantly reduced my racism. The second I started drinking, I was far less anti-Semitic. I started liking fat women way more. It's a weird side effect, but it makes you love the chicks that are a little big. And I just want everybody to go out there and get it. Where can they get it?
You can order it online at leportiercognac.com or in your local store. Specs in Texas, Total Wines.
Oh, wow. You're in the stores.
Yes.
Because it's a mafia, this liquor.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy that
It is. It's the 3-tier system.
Isn't that wild? Yeah, that's another podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for having me, man. It was really an honor. I'm stoked to be here with you, and I appreciate your time, my brother.
Check out Andrew Schulz, his Netflix special, Life.
March
Andrew
4th, it's up there on Netflix. Peace.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, man. I just want to point out that we have already finished the podcast, and then CJ, the producer, walked back and said, "Oh, there's just a few more questions that we got to say." Okay, so I just want
It's only
everybody
like
to know.
4. It's
Yeah,
only
it's
like
fine,
4.
but I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
CJ, you're a great producer. You're a piece of shit, but you're a great producer. Okay. What was the question? Kendrick said something?
Yes. He said, we don't let no white comedians talk about
He said, don't let no white comedians talk about no black woman. That's law. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. What's my opinion on it?
Yeah.
Oh, have you not heard it?
No, what'd you do?
Oh, I had an opinion on the internet about it. That was pretty.
So you like going back and forth, especially like you said, if they're
Only
names.
if you're big enough. Like I'm not going to go back and forth against like a nobody. But
Right.
if you're the biggest rapper in the world and you take a
Kendrick.
shot at me, that wasn't even the line that really bothered me. It was the next one, and a lot of people interpreted that as he was talking to Charlamagne and Alex Media, who I do the podcast with.
Yeah.
Now, to me, the word slide has implications of violence.
Yes.
So if you are calling violence on my friends,
Right.
you're going to probably hear something back from me.
Right.
That's just, I care deeply about these
Right.
people. And, you're the biggest rapper in the world, and, you never know what your fans
Right.
might do.
So you do have 2 black friends, huh?
I don't call them friends because they're black.
Okay.
But if they were white, I would call them friends. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you do have 2 black people that you. But
Yeah.
even 50, like your joke, 50, like, hold on, bro, come on now, you.
Yeah, 50's the man, dude. 50's the fucking man. That 50's the king of this shit. Like, I would love to see how he would have
Right.
handled it. Any type of beef or anything like that.
But people call your friends on the internet, they say they yes men. They say they just agree with whatever you say, they go along with it, key,
Yeah, yeah.
and they don't hold you accountable for some of the stuff that you say.
Who?
I mean, they got to upset. What'd you say, Alex Media?
Who? Yeah, Alex Media?
Yeah. I'm saying that's what the internet says. That's what your friends are. Your friends are yes men.
Which friends? Which friends?
I guess your black friends. You only got 2, Charlamagne and Alex.
CJ, you got to tell him what you mean by the questions.
No, I want to be your friend. You got 2 friends, and they don't.
He's talking about a different podcast.
No. I'm saying you got 2 friends.
You could just be like, I don't know what this question is. You could just say that.
They say it. Your black friends. How many black friends
He's
you got?
putting his foot down. It's not about my black friends. First of all, I don't have black friends.
Okay, you got
I have
friends.
friends.
Okay, that happen to be
Some of
black.
them happen to be black.
Yeah.
I don't
2 of them.
categorize them.
You only got
Unless they're Jews, and then I categorize
You only got 2 though.
But the Jews are just my Jewish friends. Everyone else is just friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay, let me ask you this. So who you taking the beef? Drake or Kendrick?
Oh, I mean, Kendrick won. It's not even a question, right? Like,
He won?
of course he won. It's not even like, of course
I
he
thought
won.
you was gonna go the other way because y'all had a little friction.
No, I'm still objective.
Right.
Like, I prefer Drake's music, of course.
Really?
So does, so does the rest of the world. There's data that backs that. Like,
Yeah.
he's the most listened to. It's not even a question. But in terms of who won it, I think you can't be like emotional about these kind of things. Like, yeah, he won it. Kendrick is really good.
He is.
He's really good.
That wordplay he was on point now.
Yeah, and Drake is really good.
Yes.
It's actually really cool to see that happen. It's very rare
Right.
that you get to see two people at the best of their ability go at it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Let me mixed race cultures because
Yes.
you get this situation that's like, well, you got a one parent is white, one parent is black, or whatever the ethnicity are,
Yeah.
and they say, well, you're not this enough to be in this culture, you're not that enough to be in that culture, so you're somewhere like in between.
Yeah. Yeah, how do you feel about that? Must feel lonely.
I'm 100%.
Yeah.
You see, both of my parents were not quite this chair complexion, but they were pretty dark.
Oh, you're black?
Yeah.
Holy Holy dude. I had no clue.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm mixed with water and Shay by La Portier.
No, like, yeah, I think that must be tough. You know, when I used to live in Spain, and my roommate was half Cameroonian and half Spanish, like from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was in Cameroon, he was considered white, and he's from Spain. And when he's in Spain, he's considered black. And what he started doing is saying that he was from Cameroon.
Right.
And he did that because he's like, I'm not going to let you decide my identity.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to tell you what my identity is and what I feel like. And I can imagine that being tough, man. That's probably got to be hard.
It is. It is.
'Cause you relate to
because
both.
you're kind of like in purgatory.
Yeah.
You're not good enough to go here. You're not good enough to go there. So you're somewhere in the middle.
And then when you do something good, both sides claim you.
Yes.
So now all of a sudden, when you're good, oh, you're the man.
You
But
had to-
like Barack Obama's president, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's the first black president. That was it. Now Barack Obama does some shit. They're like, oh, look at that
He
half
ain't
white
black.
guy.
Yeah. Well, Tiger. Tiger was the best of that because Tiger was black.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he was Coblinasian. I don't even know if that was
He was what?
Coblinasian.
He's Coblinasian.
Yeah.
He's Coblinasian.
I guess
Yeah.
guess his mom, rest her soul, she just passed recently. And so that's where people like, hold on, bro, we've been rocking with you. When they was calling you all them names, you ain't mentioned nothing about your Asian descent.
And now he's saying I'm Coblinasian.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think he is? Just what would you say he is?
All I know is I saw them things, they said the N-word. They ain't say nothing about no Asian.
Did he say the N-word?
No, I'm saying that's what people called it when they got upset at him when he did what he did.
Oh, they were saying that.
Yeah, they ain't say nothing about the Asian. They ain't mention the Asian part.
Can Tiger say the N-word?
It all depends on who he's around.
No, I'm saying like if you heard him, like if he nailed a putt and he was just like,
Nah, I don't feel comfortable with it.
hold on. So Tiger can't say the
He
N-word.
Coblinasian.
He's too combination. So there's no circumstance where he can say it?
Nah. I mean, I'm sure he said it, but I don't need to be in the vicinity when he said it.
So what if you said it to him as in an endearing way? You were like, "Yo, what's up?" And then
Nah.
And he hit it back, yeah.
No. You got to be. I got to like know you for me to address you like that.
why were you calling that to me when we were off camera? Why are you doing that around your all-white staff? Why did you
Nah.
make a big deal about that?
Nah, they know me. Y'all I don't even get.
It was crazy that you did it, and I asked you to stop. I was like, "Can you please refrain from referring to me that word?"
Well, let me
please?
ask you this: why you be going at Meek Mill on social media? Then?
I love Meek. I always
No, you
tell
don't. You
Meek-
always talk about you love somebody.
love Meek.
And be butchering them on.
When did I butcher him?
Man, you
I
know what
love
you said.
Meek. Meek, I love you. I'm the only one on social media saying he's not gay.
But you did say you have a hard time proving that you straight though.
I said he did a bad job of it,
yes.
which he laughed at. He laughed at the joke. He's like, this is the first time I laughed at somebody saying I'm funny.
You just like so. Not as long as it's a name, you gonna go back and forth with them, huh?
Yeah, if it's somebody if somebody's using me for my name, I'm not going to go back and forth.
Right.
But if it's big enough that
Right.
Sure, I'll do it.
Right.
Also, if there's but Meek did nothing to me, by the way.
Right.
Like, honestly, he's really innocent in all
Right.
this. And I do support him. I do think
Right.
that he gets an unfair shake. I think he gets like trolled a lot. And I
Right.
think he's probably like a good guy.
Right.
So I always say, leave Meek alone.
Right.
even though I do make some jokes.
Right.
But everybody gets these jokes. My man. Thank
Andrew
you, bro.
Schulz.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Spotlight LA, the newest exclusive nightclub for allowing Club Shay Shay to film here. Spotlight LA is a place for anything and everything with something programmed for everyone. Keep up with Spotlight on Instagram at spotlight.la.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.